Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Welcome to Ultimate Sports Media live on YouTube for another night of National Hockey League action. Tonight, we celebrate 30 years of the Bell Center here in Montreal. One of the most iconic buildings in the National Hockey League is the Montreal Canadiens. Welcome the Anaheim Ducks for a Sunday night showdown. Hello, everyone. My name is Jaric Rubel. Glad to have you join me this evening. A heads up in advance, there is the potential for severe weather in my area where I have these remote broadcasts from. If the stream randomly does end up ending, just know that I have unfortunately lost power. Now to the hockey. Anaheim and Montreal here this evening. Both teams come into tonight's game dealing with the grind of the schedule, with the condensedness of it, with the Olympics going on in February. They're both skating in the second half of a back-to-back here tonight, and both are looking to bounce back after difficult results last night. For Montreal, Saturday's game brought an end to a 3-game winning streak as they fell 4-2 at home to the San Jose Sharks. It was a night where the Habs admitted they never quite found their edge, allowing the Sharks to control too much of the pace and the possession. Still, there were some bright spots. Dynamic winger Cole Caulfield returned to the Habs lineup after missing the game Wednesday versus Ottawa with an illness, and he wasted no time making his presence felt, scoring his 38th goal of the season, which is a new career high for Cole. And captain Nick Suzuki also found the back of the net, while defenseman Noah Dobson contributed with a pair of assists. Another storyline that's surrounding the Habs tonight is it centers around one of their longest tenured players here in Montreal, as veteran forward Brendan Gallagher, now in his 14th season with the Canadiens, was a healthy scratch for the first time in his NHL career last night versus the Sharks, and head coach Marty St. Louis says Gallagher will return to the lineup this evening in replacement of Zach Bolduc, and teammates expect the fiery competitor to respond the way he always has, with energy and determination. Across the ice for the Anaheim side, they're also searching for a response. They were shut out 2-0 yesterday by the Ottawa Senators, marking their third loss in their last 4 games. The Ducks generated opportunities with 23 shots on goal. They had 12 shots in the third period. That got just as much as their 11 through the first 2 periods, as they had a surge at the end, but couldn't find a way past Ottawa netminder Linus Ullmark. And then meanwhile, for the Ducks, goaltender Ville Husso did do what he can at the other side. He stopped 27 shots to keep the Ducks within reach, but Ullmark was terrific for the Sens at the other end. Anaheim's also navigating tonight's game without one of its most physical forces on the blue line, as defenseman Radko Gudas is serving a 5-game suspension following a knee-to-knee collision that ended the season of Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs that destroyed his MCL, has him out for the season. However, the Ducks are going to receive a boost here tonight as veteran defenseman John Carlson will make his Anaheim Ducks debut. He was acquired from the Washington Capitals at the trade deadline. The 36-year-old brings years of experience and offensive skill from the back end, and Anaheim hopes his leadership can help guide a young roster moving forward. He did win a Stanley Cup in 2018 with the Capitals as he led defensemen in scoring throughout that tournament. So tonight, it's a meeting between two young and fun teams eager to turn the page from a night ago. Montreal looking to regain momentum in the Atlantic Division race. It's up for grabs. Anybody can win the dang thing, as Tampa and Buffalo certainly are still within reach. And meanwhile, Anaheim hoping to end this East Coast trip on a high note before they head home for a matchup with Philadelphia on Wednesday. So it's the Ducks and the Canadiens coming up next. We'll step aside for a quick break, and when we come back, I'll go over tonight's starting goaltenders, and most importantly, the puck will drop here in the Bell Center as you're listening to the NHL on Ultimate Sports Media live on YouTube with yours truly, Jaric Rubel. Back in a moment for the Ducks and the Habs. Welcome back inside the Bell Centers. We're ready for puck drop between the Ducks and the Canadiens. Jaric Rubel here with you on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. Let's take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders. It'll be Lukas Dostal in goal for Anaheim. 26-15-2 on the year for him at 3.06 goals against average and an 891 save percentage. He'll be opposed by Jacob Fowler for the Canadiens. 5-4-2 record for him in just 11 games this season. He's got a 2.56 goals against average and a 906 save percentage. So we're set for face-off here in Montreal as the Ducks welcome John Carlson into the lineup. They'll also welcome Troy Terry back as he replaces Mason McTavish on the second line with Gronlund and Seneca tonight. John Carlson on the ice to begin this game as the Ducks win the face-off at center. Poehling brings it back. Carlson controls, and it's dumped into the Montreal zone as Montreal starts with Evans, Doc, and Gallagher. Again, Poehling, Viel, and Killorn for the Ducks. So down in the far side in the Montreal zone, trying to dig it out is Viel for Anaheim. It gets kicked around on that far wing and eventually moves up near the blue line, and the Habs are going to take it the other way. On the near wing, it's Texier over the Duck line, sends it across to the far wing. It bounces off the boards in behind, and now the Ducks take back over. Out to center, it's tipped by Viel, shy of the red line. This will go for an icing here as the whistle will go 19-22 in. Anaheim in this game attacking left to right in the first period. Montreal going right to left. Let's take a look at these Anaheim lines. Is on the top line, it is Leo Carlsson with Kreider, and Terry will actually join them on the top line as Q, Joel Quenneville, rotating the lines around. As now it'll be Killorn with Gronlund and Seneca, and then it'll be Gauthier with Poehling and Viel. Fourth line, Wash with Harkins and Vetrano. D pairings, Lacombe with Trouba, Zellweger with Moore, and Minchikov with Carlson. Off the draw to the left of the Habs goaltender Fowler, the Ducks will try and ring it around, but the Habs get possession, and Cole Caulfield's out through center. Chipped it into the near corner down to our left. The Habs captain Nick Suzuki couldn't come up with it. Caulfield bashed it around the goal, and on the far wall it's sent out by Chris Kreider. Terry's going to win a foot race against Matheson to nullify the icing, and he grabs that puck out of the far corner. Stumbles a bit, dropped it off, shot towards the net. It deflected off a skate to the near side. Caulfield collects here for Montreal. Played it behind his net. Around the far boards it goes by Dobson, but Lacombe will keep it. Played it back to the far corner on the left wing side. Kreider working from low to high will sling it back around the goal. Came to the near wall, and now it'll be collected by Caulfield once more, who goes across to Slavkovsky. And now the Habs top line gets through center. Slavkovsky will backhand it on the left wing over the Duck line, but it missed Caulfield, and it'll come in possession of Ian Moore. Ian Moore, the defenseman for Anaheim, wearing number 3, scored the other night in Toronto after they ended up getting that suspension dished out to Radko Gudas for that knee-on-knee contact with Austin Matthews, as this is now the second game of his 5-game suspension he will be serving, and then he'll be welcomed back into the lineup after this next week of hockey expires. Meanwhile, the Ducks trying to flick one on net as Seneca from the far left wing circle had a shot go off a skate to the near wing. It'll be Mikael Gronlund trying to center. Couldn't though, as it's taken away by Newhook. And now on the near wing comes Demidov over the Duck line. Put it in behind. Hudson can't get there as Carlson tried to play it around, but he hit Kapanen in behind, but it does come to Killorn on the near wing anyway, and the Ducks are out. Here comes a man up the near wing, Zellweger, over the Hab line with a shot from the near circle. That'll be swallowed up by Fowler, and he will take a whistle with 17:32 remaining, and now a little extra in behind, as we're going to have Lane Hudson and Harkins going at it, but it doesn't look like too much is going to come from this, as Newhook's getting yelled at by the linesman here. Now Gooley and Zellweger are tied up with one another in behind. But now Gooley lets go and turns the other way. So a little bit of fireworks here early between the Habs and the Ducks before this next faceoff. Here's how the Montreal Canadiens align in this game. Top line, Suzuki between Caulfield and Slavkovsky. Kapanen between Newhook and Demidov on line 2. Evans between Doc and Gallagher. They started this game. And then Philip Deneau between Anderson and Texier. D pairings are Gooley with Hudson, Matheson with Dobson, and Struble with Carrier. Face off here to the left of Fowler, going to be won by Montreal's Phil Deneau. In his second stint here with the Canadiens, was on that team that made it to the final in 2021. Anderson now on the far right wing scored a game winner in that Stanley Cup final in overtime, game number 4 against Tampa. Puck in the near left wing corner, squeezed off is Phil Deneau, and it'll be flipped out on the near wing by the Ducks. And now in front of the penalty boxes, it'll be grabbed back by Deneau, and now sent back up the far wing, tipped in, no icing, so Dostal will grab it behind the Anaheim cage. Up the near wing it'll go. It'll be snapped on in now to Montreal ice by Harkins, but it'll be grabbed right back by Xhekaj, and now into the Anaheim zone it'll go once more. Trouba trying to get it out, ran into the official, but it does get the center. Now on the far wing, left wing side over the Habs line, it's Poehling. He tried a shot that went off Dobson's leg, came to the near side. Trouba put one off the side of the net, and behind the Hab goal, it'll be Dobson playing it off the far wing glass. Doesn't get out those. It's kept in by Lacombe nicely. Off the right wing boards it's played, but he couldn't get his own pass. And now Texier had it, lost it, and the Ducks will take back over on the near wing. Poehling trying to get free from Texier. Lost it. Dobson does get it to center, and now the Habs will get a change, and the Ducks will reset at center. Snapping it back in is Lacombe. Ducks also making a change. Cutter Gauthier fresh on the ice on the near side, trying to get there. Couldn't get it away from Texier, and now Dobson will take it back as he has space for Montreal to exit their own end. Played it in front of the penalty boxes for Evans to put it into the near left wing corner. Slavkovsky going after it for Montreal. Gets free in the left wing corner. Now tied up again because Leo Carlsson got his stick in the lane. And now 4 bodies, 2 for the Habs, 2 for the Ducks. Try to get the puck free. Came behind the goal to the far left wing, and it's sent out to center for Carlsson. Pass intended for Kreider on the right wing, went into the corner in front of him. And now Montreal's Gouli played it, turned it over in the slot. Taken back by the Ducks' Terry. Far circle, here's Zellweger, a shot shouldered away by Fowler, and it goes out of play on the near side. Stoppage here with 15:32 remaining in period number 1. So these two teams getting together for the second time this season. Last time they met was back on March the 6th. It wasn't long ago. The Ducks won that game 6-5 out on the pond in Anaheim. A high-scoring affair between these two teams. Chris Kreider, a goal and 3 assists in that game for the Ducks, as he's been excellent for Anaheim coming out of the Olympic break. As we have a face-off here to the right of Jacob Fowler. It'll be Kapanen out there for Montreal in his defensive zone up against Kreider. And now it's played back by the Habs Kapanen, and Matheson will control. On the near left wing, Newhook will play it back, and now a return pass to him. Ends up on Demidov's blade, and he had a dump in, go off a skate. It popped up like a pop fly, and it'll be grabbed by Lukas Dostal. So another whistle here, 15:23 remaining in the first period. So Cole Caulfield for Montreal scored his 32nd go-ahead goal dating back to last season against the Sharks on Saturday, which is tied with Dylan Guenther for the most among all players over that span. As Caulfield, Mr. Saturday Night, found another one on a Saturday night, as he's now turned into Jake Guentzel, as it seems like those two almost always score on Saturdays. Guentzel, though, nothing yesterday for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Cole Caulfield now, he's rolling this season, as he is all the way up to 38 goals on the campaign. 32 of them in the last couple of seasons have given the Habs the lead. Habs are back into the Duck zone on the far right wing. Demidov wiring a shot on that. That's blocked away by Dostal, and it goes out of play. And another stoppage with 14:53 to go here in the opening period. Again, my name's Jaric Rubel, as you can see on the top of the screen there above where the score sits, as I will be with you a lot this upcoming week, as it'll be 3 in a row, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. As on Tuesday, I'll stay here in Montreal with you for an important Atlantic Division battle against the Bruins. And then on Wednesday, the Sens and Capitals go at it in an important wild card chase. And then Thursday, the Kraken and Predators in a Western Conference wild card chase. It'll be all important hockey coming your way this week on USM. Now off the draw, puck trickles towards Dostal. He had to alertly cover it. So we'll get another whistle here with 14:47 to go in the first, and another face-off coming up to Dostal's left. So the Anaheim Ducks here at the end of an East Coast road trip, as they've been at it, as they've had a 4-game span here over 6 days, and this is the second half of a back-to-back for them, as they had a day game in Ottawa yesterday, so a little bit extra rest, as their fourth line Wash is able to win a draw to the left of his goaltender Dostal, and it's moved up the far left wing into Montreal ice, and now Vetrano out of the near corner with it for Anaheim, got it up the boards, trying to play it back down low was Vetrano, but Wash couldn't get there. And now back on the far corner, trying to dig it out for Anaheim here is Wash, trying to center for Vetrano, tied up in his skates, couldn't grab it, Deneau will. And Montreal will escape. 6 minutes gone by here in the first period as Anaheim takes back over in their defensive zone. Jackson Lacombe with the puck, an Olympic gold medalist at the Olympic Games for Team USA, as he played it up the near right wing, paling over the Montreal line with a shot from the slot. It's going to be gloved by Fowler, and he'll hold that one for a whistle. 14:03 to go in this first period, as both of these two teams trying to feel each other out here in this early stage part here of the game. Is it's been kind of clunky hockey to start. Not a lot of smooth passes, not a lot of good scoring chances early on here, and it's been a little chippy more than it has smooth sailing for both of these teams. As a face-off here is coming up to the left of the goaltender Jacob Fowler for Montreal, as he was selected in the third round of the NHL draft back in 2023. He was 69th overall, as he's now played his 12th NHL game, getting the start here tonight. You'll see a face-off to his left that's between Paling and Jake Evans, as the linesman here waiting to drop the puck, as Jesse Marquis is the linesman trying to organize it. Now he drops the biscuit, and Anaheim controls off the draws. They keep it at the blue line. No, they didn't, says the linesman, as we're going to get a stoppage in play here with just under 14 minutes to go in the first period. Viel and Anderson starting to talk to one another. We'll keep an eye on a potential fight between those two when we return. Still scoreless up in the Bell Center in Montreal. You're listening to an NHL Watchalong live with Jaric Rubel on YouTube. Welcome back into Montreal, where the Habs and Ducks are still scoreless here through the first 6 minutes of this one. Jaric Rubel, glad you're with me on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page, as we have a face-off coming up here in the offensive zone for Montreal, as they dropped a 4-2 decision to the Sharks yesterday here on home ice. As Cole Caulfield got his 38th goal of the year, as I mentioned, he's now tied with Minnesota's Kirill Kaprizov, as well as Nathan MacKinnon of Colorado for the league lead in goals, or just tied with them, I should say, in goals in this NHL season. So it looks like the faceoff was moved out to neutral ice, so it'll be Evans and Paling once again, like we just saw before the break, and this time Evans is able to win the draw, and Xhekaj controls for Montreal. Played it up the near wing by the penalty boxes. It'll go over the Anaheim line into the near corner. Anderson took a man down. Puck came to him in the trapezoid. Tried to play it back to Evans. It got taken away, and now it's still stuck around in the far corner. Evans does get it for Montreal. Played it to the point. It'll be given right back to him. Evans goes this way for Xhekaj. His shot off the left pad of Dostal. Rebound far wall. Evans tried to center, and the whack came on the near wing for Cutter Gauthier, and now he's up on the near wing trying to get past Xhekaj into the Montreal zone. Got knocked off the puck, and now back comes Montreal's Texier on the near left wing, flipped towards Dostal, and it's going to be gloved like a shortstop and held for a whistle with 13:18 remaining in this first period. So the Ducks here trying to regain this Pacific Division lead as the Vegas Golden Knights overtook them for first place last night with a win over the Chicago Blackhawks. So Anaheim now a point back of Vegas for that top spot in the Pacific. Face off here to the right of Dostal, as it'll be Gronlund going up against Alex Newhook for this draw. Gronlund missed a little bit of time after the Olympics for Anaheim, but came back a couple of games ago. Now finds himself centering a line here with Beckett Seneca and Alex Killorn. Off the face-off, it's going to be tied up and grabbed by the Canadiens at the near left circle. Matheson's pass went off a skate, but found Dobson. Now Dobson at the far circle, protecting against Killorn. Played it behind the goal. Demidov couldn't find the puck as it came back to Newhook on the near side. He tried to play it back behind, but it's intercepted by Gronlund. And now out the center comes Zellweger for the Ducks. On the far left wing, got the Hab line, played it behind the goal. Matheson now for Montreal, had it whacked away from him to the near side. And now Newhook trying to center out, but he couldn't get it out as it's taken away by Killorn. Killorn near right wing side for Anaheim. Center for John Carlson. Makes space at the circle. His shot goes over the crossbar and got the glass. John Carlson in his Ducks debut looking to light the lamp. Missed the target there. Right wing side, Seneca tied up with Newhook for each team here, and a puck comes out the center that allows Anaheim to recoil, and Killorn will wait behind his own net as both teams change him up here with under 12.5 remaining in this scoreless opening period. Jaric Rubel here with you on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page as John Carlson up the right wing boards for Terry, goes over the line across Kreider, center score! Leo Carlson, what a passing play by the Ducks, and they lead it 1-0 in this first period. So Leo Carlson's 22nd of the year, and John Carlson started this play through neutral ice. Terry got it over the right wing line, and he played it across to Kreider, who put it right on top of the blue paint from the far left wing circle. And right on top of the paint was Leo Carlson, with Fowler moving to his right, nowhere to be found in that blue paint. And Leo Carlson makes it 1-0 Anaheim on his 22nd of the year. So the Ducks get their opening goal here as they're 19-6 when scoring first this year, as they're 6-6 on the road when having the game's opening goal. They're 13-0 if they were to have this game at Honda Center, but 6-6 when scoring first on the road, 13-0 at home. So we'll see how this game ends up here in Montreal. The Habs, when giving up the first goal, they're 12-10-8 this season. And Montreal with the puck through center ice. Caulfield bobbled it at the red line. Tried to center for Slavkovsky, but he couldn't hold it. And the Ducks Lacombe takes back over. He'll wait as his forward groups are changing, as now it looks like the fourth line hops over the boards for Anaheim, is on the near wing. Wash will play it into the corner. Near right wing side, Jackey's on it first for Montreal. Goes around for Carrier. Got stuck at Anderson's skates. Now he flicks it out to center as Deneau settles it down and plays it far wing boards for Gallagher. Gallagher trying to defend against Minchikov does. To the far point, Carrier. This way at the left point, Jackey's shot deflected to the far corner from the slot. As now the Habs, Gallagher's back on it on the far half boards. Got crunched off the play there by Anaheim, as Wash did a good job to take him out of the play. Anaheim's at the red line, and it's sent into Hab territory as both teams change him up again. 9-10 played here in the first period. 1-0 Anaheim, courtesy Leo Carlson, and a good forecheck here by Viel might force a turnover, but Jackey able to grab that puck, send it up the near wing, and John Carlson does keep it for the Habs. Turnover, or for the Ducks, I should say. Turnover has been forced, as in the far corner. Paling tried to center for Gauthier. He was tied up with Texier, as now it'll be Jake Evans just playing it back in his own zone as the Habs want to change. And out the center, they'll play it. It's tied up in front of the penalty box, but Evans will come up with it, drop it back for Matheson, and he'll reset behind in his own trapezoid. Paling pressuring here on the forecheck. It goes up the far wing for Suzuki as Suzuki glides into the Duck zone, near circle. Here's Evans. Dropped it for Texier, protecting along the left wing boards. Dropped it up left point for Matheson. Across Dobson. Had a shot get deflected into the slot. Paling takes it for Anaheim. And out the center it goes for Cutter Gauthier. Over the near right wing side into the Hab zone it goes. Taken right back by Matheson and played to center though, as Suzuki with a lazy turnover allows Killorn to take it back. But the Ducks are changing, so they'll wait in their own zone. 9:43 now in this first period. 1-0 Anaheim, courtesy Leo Carlson. Near right wing side, over the Hab line comes Seneca. Centered in the slot, Killorn couldn't get a shot free. Now the other way comes Montreal through center. Hudson played it far wing for Kapanen to chip it into the Anaheim zone. Behind the Duck goal it'll go. Trouba tried to play it, got enough of it to the near side for Killorn, who flicks one the other way through center. Gloved though alertly by Lane Hudson at his own blue line, slashed it far wall for Demidov, but it was in front of him and Lacombe takes it for Anaheim. Played it this way for Trouba, but he gets tied up. Hudson takes it, now centered down low for Demidov. Across it goes. Kapanen got hooked. Penalty coming up. Habs still with possession. Near left wing side, here's Hudson. A shot goes off a skate. Came back to Gooley. Played it in front. Now the Anaheim Ducks will touch up. And the hook has been called. And with 9 minutes to go in the first period, the Montreal Canadiens will get the game's first power play when we return. Leo Carlson made it 1-0 Anaheim off a pretty passing play into the Montreal zone. And that's where we stand with 9 minutes remaining in this first period. Back here in Montreal, Habs to the power play as Alex Killorn for Anaheim sits 2 minutes for a hook against Oliver Kapanen. I'm Jaric Rubel. Glad you're with me here on this Sunday night between two cross-conference teams, the Habs and the Ducks. In this one, Habs to the power play, 8th in the NHL this season. Or I should say 6th in the NHL this season, as it's a little dark in my room, can't read the highlight. And the Anaheim Ducks here, 25th overall on the penalty kill, 77% for them, not great, as they'll look to fend off here this Montreal man advantage. Nick Suzuki leads the Habs with 35 power play points. He leads the draw and wins it. That gets this started. Behind the goal, Caulfield out of the near corner. Tried to play it up to the left point. Taken away by Poehling, though, and the Ducks are away shorthanded. Pass for Groundlin on the right wing side. Taken away. Now back comes Montreal. Left wing side over the Duck line comes Slavkovsky. In the slot. Drop for Demidov. Toe drag in the slot. Now he lost it as it was poke checked away as he tried to make a nice move, but maybe made one too many. Ducks did get it as far as the logo at center, as now Lane Hudson will recoil back for Montreal. Dropped it at the logo for Suzuki, who's over the Duck line. Far point, here's Caulfield in the slot. Hudson has so much space. Near circle, Slavkovsky looking for a tip for Suzuki, and he should have shot it again, but one too many passes by the Habs this time. Back straight away, here is Hudson. Hudson looking, shooting, blocked in front. Good block by Minchikov, he'll clear, and it rolls on edge all the way down to Fowler, who will settle it down and leave it the far right wing circle for Noah Dobson. Noah Dobson with a pair of assists yesterday against the Sharks leaves it for Oliver Kapanen. Kapanen up the near left wing side, left it for Texier over the Duck line. He's tied up with Ian Moore. They battle for a loose puck. Still along the boards, it comes back to Texier. He'll ring it around the goal, far wall it'll go, and it's kept by Caulfield. Played down low, Texier in front of tip, and it's saved by Dostal. Rebound in behind. Sticks getting tied up in the trapezoid. Is trying to get it out for Anaheim on the PK is Wash. But he's tied up here with Texier, trying to pry this puck free. Same with Kapanen. 30 seconds remain Now on this power play for Montreal, up the near left wing it goes. Dobson twists one to the far wall. Gallagher hustling to keep it in. Got taken out by a diving Zellweger. And no official in my sight line yet, but there will be a penalty. But near left wing comes Dobson. Sent it across. Newhook got a puck that was bobbling. And now Anaheim's Dostal touches up. And it'll be 11 seconds of 5-on-3 time now here for Montreal. As Olin Zellweger's going to sit as he took a man out in the defensive zone. So Gallagher got absolutely wiped out trying to keep that puck in on the far right wing boards down to our left. And Zellweger diving. If you play the NHL video games, you hit the L1 and R1 buttons and you can just dive right out on the ice. Yeah, just ridiculous play. And he was arguing the tripping call. He said he got the puck first, but I think it was the right call. And Montreal, 5-on-3 here. The officiating staff, Freddie Lacouillier with Francis Chiron, and the linesman, Julien Fournier with Jesse Marquis. So it isn't all French officiating staff here in Montreal. And first period, here's a 5-on-3, though it's only 11 seconds for Montreal. They win the draw in the slot. Caulfield, a ripper glove save by Dostal, and he dropped it, and now it's cleared by the Ducks as it goes down the ice. That'll kill off the remainder of the Killorn penalty. Back to 5-on-4 we go. Great save there by Dostal, and good alertness, too, to just sling it to his teammate to get the clear. The Habs are back in, though, in the Anaheim zone, near left wing corner. To our left, it's Suzuki. Up top, Hudson between the circles. To the left wing circle, Suzuki. Down to the corner, Caulfield. Caulfield back up through the circles, hits Hudson. Across one-timer, shut down by Dostal off the stick of Demidov, as Dostal's glove has been good here in the first period. So please pardon me if I mute for a second. I am sick as well, so if I got a cough, bear with me. As the Habs here slinging it around on the power play pretty quickly. I think they should pepper Dostal with some more shots, though, instead of looking for the perfect one. Good face-off win by Wash to the left of Dostal, as Anaheim from behind their own goals trying to clear. Gronlin's pressed up against the glass by Caulfield. Now the puck trying to get to the near left wing corner does, thanks to Suzuki. Comes up the boards, Hudson pitching, got it back where it came from, down to our left. In that little pie slice, it's Caulfield trying to get it back to Suzuki. Does, centered Slavkovsky one-timer off the glove of Dostal. Rebound kept to Hudson, near circle, here's Suzuki. Across it goes Demidov, backdoor Caulfield hit the post! He had a wide open net and hit the far post as Dostal was well out of his paint. Meanwhile, the Habs are still cycling. Far circle Demidov one-timer, blocked by a diving Gronlin. That stung him on the left leg. Puck in behind. Trying to get it free for Montreal's Gallagher. It came to the left wing. Wash will whack it down the ice for Anaheim as he clears it with 35 seconds remaining on this Montreal man advantage. The second one consecutively here in this first period. Back across the duck line comes Hudson straight away. Got a return pass, centered it on goal, a rebound's given. Dostal can't bury it as Kapanen. Now at the near circle, Texier. Final 20 of the power play. Up high it goes to Hudson, who's been out here for like 4 minutes. His shot goes off the glass. Around behind it goes by John Carlson. He'll send it up the near glass and down the ice. And with 9 seconds to go on the power play, that'll do it for the Canadiens, as the Ducks are 2 for 2 here on 2 important PKs in the first period. Back into the left wing come the Habs. Here's Texier with a ripper of a wrister that went off the far corner as he missed the target. Now Dobson near circle, a shot goes off the far post. 2 posts in this period for Montreal in the last couple of minutes, as now here comes Terry through center for Anaheim, trying to make Matheson miss. Makes a nice move. Got it in the slot. Gauthier near side. Kreider, he hit the post. Short side past Fowler as he hit the post on the near right wing side. Moore at the right point in the Habs zone with a shot that just hit Fowler, as trying to drive by on top of the paint was Gauthier. Now on the near wing is Fowler, or I should say Deneau for the Habs, as he'll get a clear, and back will go Anderson to get it for Montreal. He'll do a good job to leave it for Deneau in the trapezoid. Trying to play it up to the far point. He will for Dobson's shot that's blocked by Dostal's blocker to the near wall. Up it goes to Matheson. He tried to go across to Dobson. It's picked off by Terry, and he'll get the red line and send it down the ice 4:08 remaining in a first period that's picked up the pace after the penalties were issued out to the Ducks, as now we're starting to see more open ice. Here's Slavkovsky through center, playing it towards the net. It bounces on Dostal, who sticks it to the far wall. Zellweger can't get out, turned over in the slot. Caulfield can't hold the biscuit, and now the Ducks on the counterattack, far wing. Here's Kreider into the zone, or VL, I should say. Got taken away at the blue line, and now on the far wing over the Ducks line comes Slavkovsky. Sets it up near circle for Suzuki's one-timer. Goes off the side of the net. Rebound now picked up by Cutter Gauthier, and up the near wing he goes over the red line, chipped into the Habs zone, and behind to the trapezoid it goes. It'll be Fowler playing it back up the near right wing. Slavkovsky will grab it, tries to go rink wide for Suzuki, but he got cut off by Gauthier, and now a bouncing puck will be kicked back into the Duck zone at the moment by Wash. I should say the Montreal zone, as now both teams change, and on the near wing it'll be sent back into Duck territory in the near left wing corner. Behind the goal, Lacomb's tied up with Kapanen. Puck squirts to the near corner. Trying to get it for Montreal is Demidov, as he's down on one knee, as he can't get the puck free yet, as now it's free in the slot. Newhook dropped off Kapanen, a whack, and he missed it to the glove side on a baseball swing towards Dostal. Back on the far wall, here's Newhook sending it off the near wing boards for Xhekaj. Centered in the slot, Hudson bobbled the puck, and now it's played up ahead by Anaheim. Not out, great keep by Hudson as Wash wasn't ready. Now in the near corner, here is Kapanen. Up high, Hudson. Back to Demidov now at the near circle. Got bumped off the play, but kept the biscuit off of Trouba's check, and now he's able to send it near circle. Newhook up high, Xhekaj, a shot. What a glove save by Dostal through traffic as he sits on his wallet in the blue paint. As the Montreal Canadiens were moving the puck well, but unable to beat Lukas Dostal, as it's still 1-0 Anaheim here as we approach the end of period one. One more commercial break in this one. 2:27 to go in the opening frame. Back in Montreal, where the Ducks still lead the Canadiens 1-0. A pair of posts hit a moment ago by Montreal, and a couple of good saves by Dostal. But it's still a Duck lead, as the Habs are swarming, as Colin says in the chat, as we have just under 2.5 minutes remaining in the first period, and the Ducks win a defensive zone draw. Played up the left wing boards, and out to center it'll go, and Poehling controls. Signed a 4-year contract earlier this season, sent it near wing for Gauthier, who shot one off a leg out of play from the near right wing circle. So 2:11 to go in this opening period. Looks like the faceoff's going to come out to neutral ice, as it looks like it was ruled to go off a Duck. So the Ducks work their way now out to neutral ice, and they're also making a line change. With 2:11 to go here, now it looks like faceoff actually is going to stay inside the Montreal zone. So both teams here making changes, as everyone just decided they wanted to fool me and skate on out to neutral ice, as it'll be Deneau against Leo Carlson to the left of Jacob Fowler. Now the puck was dropped unfairly, says the linesman. So we'll do things over again. So Phillip Danault, as I mentioned, in his second stint here with the Montreal Canadiens, brought over from the LA Kings earlier this year. As he wins a faceoff, 2 foulers left. Matheson gets tied up with Karlsson, but does get the puck through center, and it rolls into Anaheim Duck territory where Zellweger will play it to the far wall for Terry. He'll circle around and get on his horse through center at the red line. Makes a man miss. Slavkovsky now snaps it in front of the Habs bench. Around the goal, it'll go to the near corner. Matheson on it first for Montreal. Dangerously played it in front of his own net. It's turned over Karlsson. Leo Karlsson up high. Has it not with the puck. Now played it down low. Trying to get it was Kreider, but it ends up on Terry's blade, who got walloped by Matheson. As Matheson got tied up with Chernishev for San Jose yesterday and injured the poor kid. Now delivered a big hit there just a moment ago. John Karlsson on the ice with Leo here for Anaheim, but John couldn't grab the puck in the offensive zone, and now retries here on the near right wing. He got over the Hab line, works his way towards the slot. A backhander on goal, save Fowler. Rebound put on net by Seneca that Fowler stops as well. And with 75 seconds remaining in period number 1, another whistle. So still 1-0 Anaheim here. If this score holds through the first period, they're 13-3 this season when leading after period 1. So this will only be the 17th time, if it holds, that they lead through 20 minutes. Montreal, meanwhile, they are 7-6-4 when trailing after the first 20 minutes. So they've only trailed after 20 minutes 18 times if this 1-0 score holds for the next 75 seconds. Face off to the right of Fowler, as it'll be Evans against Mikael Granlund. Now it looks like Granlund's going to get tossed, so Alex Killorn will have to step into the face-off circle. Only 35% on the year for him. Meanwhile, Jake Evans at 56.5% for Montreal. Now the linesman getting mad here. Now he's going to toss Evans out of the circle. So now Evans will move over. Danault, though, who is a natural centerman, will step in. He's also at 55% on the year, so not really much of a difference if you ask me. As off the draw, Killorn wins it, a rare face-off win against Danault for the winger as the Ducks control and play it to the near corner. Down to our right, Dobson will get on it for Montreal. He pitchforks one on his backhand across the logo, and it rolls into Anaheim ice where it's grabbed just before the goal line by Minchikov. He played it on the near wing. Moore had it go off his stick. Bad turnover. Here comes Montreal near left wing boards. Anderson drops Danault. Tried to give it back for Anderson. Went under his blade. And under 50 seconds remain here in the first period. Ducks can't get out of their own end yet. Moore will try again from behind his own goal line. He's tied up with Anderson, who's roughhousing him. Puck squirted free to Granlund. He's trying to move it up. It's taken away by Gallagher. Nice takeaway by Gallagher after being a healthy scratch yesterday. But nothing really comes of it as Killorn will flip it to center. And it'll be gloved down by Gouli. Ducks changing. Montreal trying to fly back in. They won't have much of a lane as now Gouli blows a tire as well. The defenseman's caught. And now back comes a forward for Montreal. It was Evans who laid a nice hit to lodge a puck free as it was dumped into Montreal ice. And now the Habs will take back over. Final 11 of period 1. Hudson on the near left wing for Evans. Over the Duck line. Met Trouba didn't get hit too hard, but kind of pulled up as he didn't want to get hit by a freight train. And this will ultimately end period 1 as the Ducks tried to rush the other way, but come up empty-handed. And through the first 20 minutes, they lead the Montreal Canadiens 1-0 on a goal by Leo Karlsson, his 22nd of the year, assisted by Chris Kreider and Troy Terry. Might as well give a third assist to John Karlsson starting that play, though you don't get assists for the third pass on a play, but he did start that rush for Anaheim that ended up in the back of the Montreal net. Shots were even at 9 apiece in that opening frame. The Habs power play went 0 for 3 yesterday. They're 0 for 2 already in this first period as they trail the Anaheim Ducks 1-0 here on a Sunday night as we celebrate 30 years of the Bell Center up here in Montreal. The Habs looking to make a comeback in this one against the Anaheim Ducks. We'll see what happens in the middle period. Stick around. It's only 15 minutes away. You're listening to the NHL here on the Ultimate Sports Media page with Jaric Rubel, and I'll be back soon for the second period. Welcome back into the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. Jaric Rubel here with you. Glad you've joined me for this game between the Anaheim Ducks and the Montreal Canadiens. Through 20 minutes, it is 1-0 Anaheim with shots even at 9 apiece as Leo Carlsson got his 22nd goal of the year, set up by Chris Kreider and Troy Terry for the game's opening goal. And that's where we stand here through the first 20 minutes of play. Chris Kreider there with an assist now has 8 points in his last 7 games as he's been hot coming out of the Olympic break. Troy Terry picks up an assist in his first game back in the lineup after dealing with an injury. Well, good for those two guys to connect here on that goal with Leo Carlsson. A pretty passing play. Started from the Ducks defensive zone by John Carlson. Got it to Terry on the right wing over the Montreal line. He sent it across to Kreider at the far left wing circle. And then Leo Carlsson on top of the blue paint was there for the tap-in. So before we get set to begin period number 2 here, a reminder that on Tuesday it'll be another game right here in Montreal on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube pages. I'll be with you for the Bruins and the Canadiens, an important Atlantic Division battle. And then on Wednesday, I'll be with you for the Senators and the Capitals from Washington, D.C. So the Canadian Capital versus the American Capital, as Ottawa inching closer and closer to a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. They won today 7-4 against the San Jose Sharks. They're now just 3 points out of the final wild card spot behind Boston and Detroit. So second period here is set to begin as we get a nice long pause here before we actually fully drop the puck here in Montreal. But the Habs in the second period, it's definitely their worst of the bunch. Their goal differential is -10. They're getting outscored 71-81 in the middle frame. And Anaheim, this is their best period of the 3. And if you could believe it, they are even in goal differential, 79 goals for, 79 against. But they have a negative goal differential in the first and the third. They're -15 after this first period in the opening 20 minutes. And then they're also getting outscored by 7 goals in the third period. So as the game goes on, it seems like the middle period ends up being the best for Anaheim as we're finally set to begin the second period here after about 2 minutes of endless replays as the Ducks lose the draw and Montreal possesses. But the puck gets taken away at the moment in the Habs defensive zone. Evans runs into his own player, and now Viel takes over for Anaheim, centered for Gauthier, but he couldn't connect. Puck to the far corner, Paling put it back in front. Viel, a tip and a save by Fowlers. He had to be alert there. As on top of the blue paint, Viel was lurking, and now he's getting into it with Xhekaj. As Xhekaj and Viel have been arguing, same with Anderson and Viel, as he's been out there causing chaos for the Anaheim Ducks. Face-off coming up here to the right of Jacob Fowler in goal for the Montreal Canadiens, as he's been good in this first period. Yeah, one went past him. It was too good of a passing play, no chance. But in that first period, he made some great saves at key times. So face-off now to his right. Terry's going to control off the draw for Anaheim. Lacombe near circle, center. There's a shot. They score! A one-timer by Leo Carlsson. And he's got his second of the game. And the Ducks are up 2-0. So 23rd of the year for Leo Carlsson as he won a face-off that Terry controlled. And he just left it for Lacombe at the circle as Carlsson set up between the circles. And then it was Lacombe with a nice little pass in the slot. And Leo Carlsson makes no mistake rifling that one-timer past Nick Suzuki and past the glove hand of Jacob Fowler. So the Ducks double their lead here in period number 2 as we resume play. And here's Carlsson right off the ensuing faceoff, looking for a hat trick, driving in. He got poke checked as he had a good chance. As right away he won the faceoff to himself and went right on net. But he got poke checked. Not sure if it was by Fowler, the goaltender, or I believe Matheson on defense. But Leo Carlsson, insane game he's having here so far as he had a glorious chance yet again. But it comes up empty-handed. So he's out there for the ensuing faceoff against Deneau. It comes to the left of Jacob Fowler with 19:25 to go in the second period. Deneau wins the draw as Matheson will play it behind the net to Gallagher on the near side. And now it's back to Matheson, who circles back as I hear the thunder going off behind me here. Hopefully nothing gets too strong and messes with our stream, as hopefully we all stay safe here at my remote location. As behind the Anaheim goal it goes. The puck as it's picked up by Trouba. Played it off a skate of Anderson. Does come though to the Ducks Kreider, who goes this way to Lacombe. And a stretch pass up ahead goes off the skate of Leo Carlson. And the Habs will take back over. So Matheson almost lost it to Terry as he hit a rut in the ice, but he stayed with it. And the Habs change as they play pitch and catch. Matheson and Dobson do in their own defensive zone. Dobson on the near wing goes across for Gallagher, but it went off Anita, the far corner in the Duck zone. And Trouba will get to it first, played it around for Lacombe, but he couldn't handle it. And now Groundland had to take it away from Newhook, but now he can't clear on the near side. Here's a pass, score! Anaheim couldn't clear their zone, and Alex Newhook was set up for a one-timer at the near right wing circle as he goes upstairs short side on Dostal, and the Habs get one back. So it is the 9th goal of the year for Alex Newhook as he was set up by Lane Hudson in the slot. As Dostal moving to his left couldn't get back to that post in time as there was enough room upstairs. And Alex Newhook let it go and gets the Habs to within one. So Anaheim just struggling to get out on the near side. Hudson took over and was able to find Newhook as the Ducks started scrambling and left him open at the near circle. So it's a 1-goal game yet again as Montreal's now on the board. 2-1 is your score. So Lane Hudson behind his net got hit hard there by Harkins as he played the puck up, and Newhook will race on the near wing with it. Over the Duck line he goes. Demidov tried to center it and poke towards Dostal as he will catch that loose biscuit, and he will hold it with 8:08 to go in the second period as Montreal roaring right back in after getting that goal to get within one. As Leo Carlson with 2 in this game for the Ducks has them up 2-1, but just recently, the Montreal Canadiens able to find the back of the net and get it to a 1-goal contest thanks to Alex Newhook. So again, if you're new to the streams, I see the count bouncing up and down. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe as Matthew and I went through a little bit of turmoil with a couple of other channels. So this one started fresh almost a month ago now. So we're trying to get our counts back up and make sure these streams are back to as fun as they've been through the winter, and now we get here to the springtime. So on the far left wing boards, the Habs can't clear. Now Anaheim trying to keep it in. Zellweger will a good hustle play to keep it in at the left wing boards. Now in the slot, Viel had a one-timer that went off a leg to the near corner. Hudson's on it for the Canadiens. And now the Habs will reset in their own zone. Dobson on the near right wing, stretched it up ahead. Far wing, Caulfield over the Duck line, a shot, he scores! Cole Caulfield ties the game at 2 as he came roaring up the far left wing and snapped it through the 5-hole of Lukas Dostal. So 39 on the year for Caulfield as he collected that puck at the Duck blue line, and it looked like it went under the glove here on second look under Dostal as he snapped it right past the Duck netminder off the rush. And now Montreal with 2 quick ones has tied this game at 2 in the Bell Center. So ensuing face-off here coming up. Leo Carlson in the top line back on for the Ducks, and they win the draw against Evans, Gallagher, and Doc as we're back underway here in this one. As I thought I hit exit on the goal horn. Sorry for that audio scare. As now the Ducks touch it out of their own zone, or out of the offensive zone, I should say, and reset as now Ian Morrow wristed on in. On the near wing, Evans takes back over for the Habs, played it to the logo, and out comes Demidov, hit a rut in the ice and lost it at the Duck blue line, though, as Texier will have to go back for Matheson. Matheson up the far left wing. Evans is sneaking in. He got there near side for Demidov, but the pass was through his skates. Now he's centered from behind and a save by Dostal. In front on Texier. Rebound far corner Evans. Touched back up high. It's zipped now near circle Carrier. Back across Evans plays it off the far wing. Evans trying to center up high to Carrier. Touch to Matheson. Long flip shot. Save made by Dostal, who swallows in his breadbasket. And now a little bit of extra as Ian Moore's in a headlock as Evans rustles him down to the ice. Minchikov on top of him as well, because I'm not sure what started that, but Evans immediately put Ian Moore in a headlock and wrestled him down. Don't know if any penalties will come from that, as it looks like nothing will, and everyone will go their separate ways. As the Montreal Canadiens here, after going down 2-0, have responded tremendously, and they got the 2 to equalize it, and they had a good opportunity to take the lead, all within the last couple of minutes, as the Ducks scored 2 minutes in to go up 2-0, and the last 90 seconds have been all Montreal here in this second period. So face off to the right of Dostal. We wash against Deneau out there for Montreal, as it looks like the linesman doesn't like what he sees from Wash, so he's getting yelled at here, but he's going to stay in the circle. And now we'll have this face-off be tied up and won by the Ducks, as Rubel just sends it out to center, an area play that Vetrano won't get to. Shackeye will for Montreal. It's cleared up to center in front of the Duck bench. It pinballs back into Montreal ice. Now it looks like a hand pass is going to be whistled. Harkins hates it. He's yelling at the linesman. But a whistle here with 16:24 to go in the second period, and a face-off coming up here in neutral ice in front of the Anaheim bench. So shots 14-13 here in favor of Montreal, as these two teams I mentioned in the first period played a 6-5 game about a week and a half ago out west in Anaheim. Can't get much more north than Montreal here, but out west in Anaheim, as it was a fun one then, and it's a fun one right now, as these two teams are some of the most young and fun, exciting teams in the National Hockey League at the moment. Yeah, the Ducks have some older veterans on the team, but these young guns are driving the bus here for Joel Quenneville's crew, and it's giving me 08-09 Blackhawks vibes. Maybe not as dominant, but it's a good start with a good build for the future for this Duck team, as now here's a save by Dostal on a tough angle try by Gallagher that came from the far right wing corner, or left wing corner, I should say. So with 4:05 gone in the second period, another whistle here and a face-off coming up to the right of Dostal. But I mentioned I'll have these Canadiens again for you on Tuesday on this very YouTube channel. They'll host the Boston Bruins in the league's oldest rivalry. We'll go Original 6 here from the Bell Center on Tuesday. I had this one scheduled for a while, that Bruins-Canadiens game. For the last couple years, I was trying to find a good time to host an Original 6 rivalry game here between either the Leafs or the Bruins in this building, and I figured that is a good one. So the Habs win an O-zone draw to the right of Dostal. Matheson tried a one-timer that went wide, and now off the glass it rolls back up top, and it'll bounce out the center as Demidov will wrist it in as the Habs touch up. Behind the goal, Dostal to our right. Played it far corner for John Carlson to lift out the center. Now Noah Dobson back up the near wall with it. Over the duck line it goes. Zellweger is able to fight through a check. Got it up to the blue line, but Kapanen will grab it and turn it back in Montreal's favor. Left at far point. Here's Matheson weaving in down low. Got knocked off the play, but stayed with it. As now his stick gets lifted by Seneca, who's been real quiet so far tonight. Got that puck as far as the red line. And Matheson will wrist it back in as the Habs want to change. They get new defensemen on the ice. Meanwhile, the Ducks try and work it out on the near side. Gronlund does get it out, as in front of the penalty box as Seneca will turn with it and leave it back at his own blue line for Zellweger as the Ducks change. Pass up to the Duck bench intended for Killorn, gets snapped on into Montreal ice. Round the goal, it goes on the near wing. It caroms back to center. And now Zellweger will reset again. This way he goes for Ian Moore in the near circle in the defensive zone to our right. Now at the far circle, it's snapped up the wing. At center, Leo Carlson circling at the logo. Enters the Montreal zone straight away. Dropped it. Kreider shot it. Save. Rebound. Carlson shut down by Fowler. Leo Carlson looking for the hat trick. Rebound to the far corner. Sent out to center by Slavkovsky. Is now on the near wing. He's after it. Against Ian Moore in behind the Anaheim goal. He goes at a nasty collision in behind as they get tangled up. Slavkovsky and more do, and the Ducks are able to head out to center as Terry weaves his way through neutral ice, far right wing into the Duck zone with a shot off of the skate of Hudson. Back to him it goes. Terry left it in the far corner. Kreider now leaves it for Carlson. Leo Carlson out of the far right wing corner at the circle. Up high, Trouba, shot blocked, and where is it? It went out of play behind the goaltender Jacob Fowler. 13:58 remaining, second period of play. We're tied in Montreal between the Ducks and the Habs as the period of the long change is creating chaos. Jaric Rubel back with you here in Montreal, where we're now tied at 2 between the Canadiens and the Ducks after 2 goals by the Montreal Canadiens. Newhook and Caulfield have us all squared and even. The Anaheim Ducks led this game 2-0 as they have surpassed their win total, by the way, from last year's. They're now up to 36 wins on the year. They had 35 just a year ago. So they are now second in the Pacific Division, 1 point behind the Vegas Golden Knights for the division lead, as they have not won the Pacific Division since the 2017 season, where they went to the Western Conference Final and fell victim to the 8th seed Nashville Predators. So back underway here in Montreal as the Habs play it through center ice. Up the right wing boards it goes on the near side, and into the Duck corner it'll go before it's sent right back out by Lacombe to center. And Leo Carlson bobbled it at the Hab blue line, and Kreider touches it for an offside. So a whistle with 13:42 remaining here in this middle period. The Ducks have won the last 2 times these teams have gotten together, both 1-goal games. The last 3 times these teams have gotten together, it's been a 1-goal contest. The Ducks won 6-5 in a shootout earlier this year, 3-2 last season, and then they won up here as well 3-2, or the Habs, I should say, won 3-2 in a shootout last season as they split the season series a year ago. But again, a lot of 1-goal games between these two teams as we have 7 of the 10 in their last 10 meetings going between 1 goal. As now on the near side, trying to make a move was Paling for the Ducks, but he got met by Gallagher on the near side as the puck will roll through center back into Anaheim ice. As now Ian Moore on the near side flipped one out of play. The Habs want a penalty. Are they going to get it? It looks like they will. And a delay of game penalty here on Moore will send Montreal to the power play. So the Habs 0 for 3 yesterday. They were 0 for 2 in the first period. Now an opportunity here to make things right, as they were 1 for 4 against the Ducks in the first meeting. Lane Hudson had the lone power play goal in that game for the Canadiens. We'll see if they could take the lead here with the man advantage as we approach the halfway point in this game. So another look at the replay here, and yeah, Moore, that puck did not go off the glass as Moore slapped his right hand against the glass as he shot it out. He didn't help his cause with his reaction at all. As a big flash of lightning out my window, let's see if we can hear the thunder as this Montreal power play is going to begin with a face-off to the left of Dostal. Face-off pulled back into the slot, but it's going to be grabbed by the Ducks, and Paling's going to get on his horse and gallop up the far wing. Paling gets a past Suzuki. He's in with a shot that goes over the crossbar. Puck might have been rolling on edge. In the near corner, stripped away from him by Hudson, as Lane Hudson for Montreal takes back over. And a look for the push-and-back entry. 20 seconds gone by on this Montreal power play. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. All power plays are powered by the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. Behind the Anaheim goal to our right, Caulfield centered. Suzuki goes this way, Demidov. Up high, Hudson. Back to Demidov. Touched in the slot. Suzuki couldn't hold the feed as Michikov got a stick in the lane. Now in front, Caulfield centered. Demidov, a shot and a save by Dostal, as that puck wasn't intended for Demidov, but it came to him at the near face-off circle, and Dostal read that like a book as he saw that developing in real time and was able to alertly get over to his left and make a good stop. So face-off will remain to Dostal's left, as I'd imagine the top group will stay on the ice for the Habs on this power play, as they've looked really good on the man advantage when they get in the zone, as it's only a matter of time before they find the back of the net, you'd imagine. And now they end up losing the draws. The replay was happening, didn't even see the face-off, and Montreal's behind their own net as Hudson's going to scoot up through center. He'll drop it at his own blue line for Suzuki. Gets through all three lines and on the near right wing into the Duck zone, left it for Caulfield. Up high, Hudson. Across for Slavkovsky. To the far circle, the puck finds Suzuki. Up high, Hudson again. Tried to center, but it got cut off by the Ducks and sent down the ice again. We're down to 45 on the Montreal power plays. They'll get some fresh forwards on the ice. Hudson near wing for Gallagher on the ice now. Over the Duck line he goes. Twisted it near circle. Newhook, who has a goal tonight, looks over the traffic. Goes up top to Dobson. Far circle, Kapanen looking now. Down to the corner, Gallagher. Back to Kapanen, far circle. Gallagher centered. Newhook couldn't get a shot through. Kept in at the blue line by Dobson. Far circle, Kapanen. Now Newhook tried the one-time one that didn't go his way. And now a turnover by Dobson sends the Ducks away 2-on-1. Up the left wing side, over the half lines, Paling. Toe dragging a shot that got blocked by Dobson, as he didn't even get a clean shot through, did the Ducks winger. As now back comes Texier, hurrying for the Habs. He just put it towards the net, didn't make it on the target. As Kapanen can't grab that puck, Minchikov does, and John Carlson will ladle it down the ice. That'll do it for the Montreal power play. They're 0 for 3 tonight. They're 0 for their last 6 as a team, as now we're back to even strength. Back through center comes Montreal, but a bad pass intended for Deneau goes right on the blade of John Carlson. At the logo, Leo Carlson couldn't grab it. Is now taken back over Zellweger. On the near side, Leo will leave it for Kreider. From the logo to the far wall, it's toe dragged in by the Ducks' Terry. Got hit, but now the puck comes to John Carlson. Tried the center, got off a skate, and Leo is to get back as Evans is chipping it the other way. So the Habs chip it on in. The fourth line gets to work. Now avoiding a hit there was Deneau as the puck avoided him to the near side. And Leo Carlson's back to center for Anaheim. Over the Montreal line, he goes avoiding a check. Now gets hit on the far wall by Gooley. Now a battle for a loose puck's going to be taken away by the Habs' Newhook as he's up on the far wing. Now into the Duck zone they go. Behind is Lacombe taking the puck away for Anaheim. Is in the near corner. He gets tied up and moved it along up to center. As in front of the penalty boxes, it'll be one-armed along by Killorn for Groundland. Over the Hab line to the far circle he goes. The Finnish captain in the Olympics dropped it for Seneca. Tried to center it. Popped in the slot. And now Slavkovsky will sling it ahead. Here's Suzuki. Up far circle. Here's Caulfield over the Duck line. Puts on the brakes at the circle. Looking over the traffic. Sent it this way. Off a skate. It goes to the near corner. Suzuki has to play it behind Slavkovsky. Shielding here against Groundland. Groundland here can't poke it away. Came to Caulfield. Off a skate in front though. Stahl whacks it with his stick to the near side. And Groundland will collect with space out the center for the Ducks. And Gauthier can't get over the Hab line. Hudson a takeaway. Up the right wing into the Duck zone. Goes across. Here's Caulfield shooting. Save Dostal as he'll take a whistle with 9:31 to go in the second period. Still tied at 2 in Montreal. You're listening to this NHL watch-along between the Ducks and the Canadiens with Jaric Rubel, live on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube channel. Jaric Rubel back with you guys here in a Montreal 2-2 tie between the Ducks and the Canadiens. Glad you're with me here on the Ultimate Sports Media Watchalong page. Hope you enjoyed our NASCAR coverage earlier today as the JB Motorsports team's taken over for Matt Squared. See that lightning behind me? That's pretty good, as they are going to be covering NASCAR here on the Ultimate Sports Media page throughout the duration of the college basketball tournaments. So face off here to the right of Paling. It'll be Newhook against Paling, or to the right of Dostal, as it'll be Paling against Newhook, as I see tornado warnings to my south there in the commercial, so I'm a little courteous of what's going on around me. As in the far corner to the right of Dostal, here's a takeaway that ends up on Demidov's blade. He pivots in the trapezoid. Nice stick work in behind. Trouba's tying him up. That should be a penalty on Trouba. Is it going to be? No, it won't be, as he's still holding the stick, but now the Habs still keep possession. Newhook tried to play it down low, got cut off by Trouba, and out the center it goes. Here's Paling over the Montreal line near wing. It's VL. Flicked it towards the net, goes through to the far wall, and now a stoppage in play here, as it looks like something was happening in behind. Is not sure what it was. I'm going to assume it was an offside, but the referees were kind of directing traffic, but doesn't look like a penalty. As with 9:01 to go here in this second period, face-off coming up, likely in neutral ice in front of the penalty box. Shots are 18-15 in favor of the Canadiens. They're 0 for 3 on the power play. As if you want to look for reasons why they couldn't get a point against the Sharks, and we'll see how this game ends tonight. It could be what is a struggling power play over the last handful of games. As off a draw in neutral ice, it's going to be won by Montreal's Danault, as it's hammered into Duck ice, and a hit in behind by Danault was delivered to Trouba. And now the puck will trickle back out to center ice as Montreal has to recoil. Carrier will dump it in. He heads to change. Meanwhile, behind the Duck goal, Trouba will leave it for Lacombe. And now Anaheim starts to rush the other way through center. Here's Vetrano on the near wing as Anaheim again attacking right to left in this second period. Chips it behind the Montreal net. And now the Habs will take back over as Xhekaj goes up the far wing. Anaheim gets back after it. This is going to be an icing here on Montreal. So a stoppage with 8:22 remaining in period number 2. So I mentioned the March Madness tournament coming up, as we're going to have plenty of action for you on this channel, as you're going to see coverage here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so on and so forth. Starting on Tuesday, you're going to have plenty of March Madness action here between Matthew Owens and Seth Eves right here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube channel. Face off to the right of Fowler, won by Gronlund on the Ducks. Zellweger steps in now on the left wing near side, tied up in the corner with Carrier as he tried to play the puck in behind. It's still in the near corner. Killorn whacked it back up high, left point. Zellweger controls. Back to that corner. Killorn will skate behind the Montreal net. To the far corner he goes, playing it up to the far point. It's controlled now by the Ducks. On the near side, Zellweger gets it back, but he turns it over, and now Gallagher will flick it the other way. So now it'll be taken back by Killorn as he recoils for Anaheim. Both teams making a little bit of changes. Is now Seneca at the blue line. Goes across for John Carlson. Far wall now Gronlund. Trade spots with Seneca. Seneca needs 1 goal to tie Cutter Gautier's rookie record for the Ducks, as Cutter Gauthier had 20 in 24-25. And Beckett Seneca right now, as it stands for the Anaheim Ducks, currently sitting at 20 goals even. As now it's going to be across for Carlson for Zellweger. No connection there, as now the Ducks here just can't connect on their passes. They're having the zone time against the Canadiens here, but they haven't really tested Fowler with anything serious, as Leo Carlson from behind the net played it to the near circle himself. And now just waits for some help. Trouba fresh on, goes across to the far circle, played to the goal, and a save made by Fowler. Off the shot by Lacombe. The defenseman was down low, and that allows Slavkovsky to get free out to center. To the near side, here's Suzuki. Wrister, he scores! Nick Suzuki gives the Habs the lead, as Jackson Lacombe was caught down low for the Ducks, and that allowed the Habs to head the other way and take the lead. So the captain for Montreal gets his 23rd of the year, and it comes just after the Ducks just couldn't finish on any of their passes. And then Lacombe got in too deep in the Montreal zone, had to hustle back, didn't get back in time, as Leo Carlson was the forward back acting as a defenseman. And the pass came to the near circle for Nick Suzuki, who snapped it past the glove hand of Dostal. Montreal leads it 3-2 after being down 2-0 in this period. So they win the ensuing draw and dump it down to our right in Anaheim's end. It's going to be picked up by Ian Moore and flicked back into Montreal ice. And now in behind, here's a raise. VL kicks it. Cutter Gauthier trying to center it. Came back to Moore. His shot blocked in front. Pinball through the slot. Gauthier is shot again. Blocked by Matheson. Came up high. Moore will keep it in. No stick for Paling. He had to just get off the ice. And that allows the Habs to grab the puck in their own zone and send it on the near wing. Demidov tried to center. Texier's shot goes off the end boards back in front. Now on it is Anderson, or I should say Dobson. Dobson in the far corner. Knocked out of the play by both Wash and Moore. As now up the far wing comes Cutter Gauthier over the Montreal line. Sent it this way at the circle. Viella turnaround shot bounced off the end boards. Picked up by Wash out of the far corner. Up high. Here's now a shot by Harkins. Tipped and went wide to the blocker side. Came to John Carlson on the near left wing boards. Up top, Harkins, a shot tipped, now backhander put wide by Wash, as that might have gotten a piece off of Fowler. Wash on his own rebound from the far wall. Shot to the near side now as along the near boards on the left wing is Harkins. Trying to trade spots with Zellweger, lost it. Now the foot race is on. He'll win it as Texier was in hot pursuit. Now the Ducks Carlson played it back in front of the penalty boxes. Looks like a stoppage in play here for not sure what, as the camera here is just kind of stopped at the hard cam, as we'll head to one last break in this second period. There's 5:37 left, and the Habs now lead it 3-2 over the Anaheim Ducks. Jaric Rubel back with you here in Montreal, where the Canadiens now lead the Ducks 3-2. Courtesy 3 unanswered goals in this second period. Newhook, Caulfield, and Suzuki with the goals for Montreal. Both Anaheim goals belonging to Leo Carlson. Now the Ducks are in comeback mode, something they're used to. So they have 9 multi-goal comeback wins this year. But overall, in this season, they are the only team that has collected 8 comeback wins in the third period, tied for second among all NHL teams. That's just behind Vegas, who has 10. So they're used to coming back. 20 overall on the season. Victories when down a goal. And Montreal now leads the Ducks 3-2. And we'll see where that takes us. Face off in front of the penalty boxes in neutral ice is won by Suzuki. And now it'll be Gouli up the far wall over the duck line into the corner. And Suzuki's after it. Left it for Slafkovsky. Tried to poke it to Caulfield. Came back into the Anaheim possession. And Seneca's on the far right wing to dump it into Montreal ice. Goes behind the goal line. Gronlund on it. Sandwich off the play here by both Montreal defensemen, Gouli and Hudson. Now on the near side, Slafkovsky having trouble with Killorn. Can't get out of the zone yet. Now slides it across, and at the far circle, Hudson will wait as he kind of looks over his options. Now plays it at the logo. Caulfield, a tip, came to the near side. Back come the Ducks. Killorn into the zone, near left wing at Seneca. Centered in the slot. Gronlund, tough angle, had a shot blocked by Gouli. Came to the near corner. On it for Anaheim's Killorn. Trying to one-arm it to the point. Came up there, and Carlson's able to keep it in at the moment, but it's punched back out by Suzuki. But it's a hand pass. Clear as day, and the whistle will go with 4:43 to go in the second period. So it should remain an O-zone draw here for the Anaheim Ducks as the hand pass happened in the defensive zone. So the face-off likely to the right of the goaltender, Jacob Fowler. So when leading through 2 periods this year, if this score were to hold, the Montreal Canadiens 23-2, and the Ducks, meanwhile, are 4-21-2 when trailing through 40 minutes of play. Yeah, I said they have 8 third-period comebacks. That also means they could have given up the go-ahead goal in the third period and had to come back from that point. As face-off to the right of Fowler is won by Leo Carlsson along the left wing board. Zellweger centers Carlsson a tip looking for the hat trick. Couldn't get it on net. It's taken away Dobson. He played it up the right wing boards into Duck territory. Terry back at it for Anaheim. Cross for John Carlson. Got it to the logo for Leo. Near side over the Hab lines Kreider. Hab fans don't like this guy as he snaps it across and now try to backhand it in is Terry. As the Ducks have tied the game with a kooky backhander from the slot. And Troy Terry in his first game back has 2 points and the equalizing goal. So 14th on the year for Troy Terry is on the near left wing. Entering the zone was Kreider, and he got it to Terry at the far right circle. And as he entered the slot, he put a backhander towards the goaltender Fowler with traffic in front. And that one goes clean over the glove side shoulder of Fowler with Leo Carlsson in front. Was looking to see if maybe he touched it for the hat trick, but that is all Troy Terry, and his 14th of the year has tied it for Anaheim here in this second period. So face-off at center, won by Paling as the Ducks get possession back, and right into the Heb zone they go. Near side it's Viel. Looking for somewhere to go out of the corner. Skates behind the Montreal goal. Banked it off the far right wing to Trouba at the point. His shot deflects over the crossbar off the glass. On the near half boards now Paling sandwich to the glass against Gouli. Gouli now moved it up to Demidov on the near right wing. Through center he goes into the Duck zone. Tied up with Lacombe to the near corner. Puck trickled in front. There to clean it up for Anaheim was Gauthier as he's out to center with Viel. Viel carries over the near left wing line into the Montreal zone. Backhanded one off a skate to the far corner down to our left. Paling trying to force a turnover as Montreal takes it the other way, and they'll get to center as now Trouba rocks Newhook at the red line and blasts him down to the ice. As Trouba there with a heavy hit for Anaheim, asserting his dominance in neutral ice. So the Ducks send it back into Montreal territory. From behind the Hab net, Xhekaj goes up the right wing to Brendan Gallagher. He's tied up with Minchikov at the red line between the penalty boxes. Puck squirted back now where it'll be sent across by Carrier and sent by Anderson into Anaheim ice. On the near half boards at the right wing circle, a puck squirts to Vetrano, and he'll skate it to the red line for Anaheim. It's chipped in to the Montreal zone, and now on it in the near corners, Harkins. Harkins trying to move it up, couldn't, goes back behind to the trapezoid to our left. Now here's Gouli moving it up the left wing, right wing boards, couldn't get it out. Gallagher fighting, now got it to Deneau, who slides it across, and now Xhekaj back to Gallagher at center. Went off a skate over the Anaheim line onside though, as Gallagher played it back to center. Habs were avoiding too many men and couldn't play it. As another big lightning flash goes off, as now the Habs complete a change. They're back in far wing into the Duck zone. Caulfield up high in the slot. Suzuki a shot swallowed up by Dostal as he takes a whistle with 2:33 to go in the middle frame. So that now the 20th shot on goal for Montreal in this game. Anaheim with 17. As Anaheim in that game against Ottawa a day ago struggled through the first 2 periods to generate anything on net, as they had just 11 shots through the first 2 periods before they had 12 in the third. As Ottawa's shot suppression very noticeable in that game, and Anaheim here just not able to generate as many chances I thought they could have, though they do have 3 goals, just not as many shots on goal as I would have forecasted myself. The Habs win an O-zone draw to the left of Dostal. Played around the far wall. Here's Dobson at the point. Sent it this way. Slavkovsky one-timer fought off with a chest save by Dostal. Rebound to the near corner for Zellweger. Cross it goes for Moore. Up the center ice. Seneca went off his blade. Now it's sent this way for Killorn. Killorn left wing over the Hab line. Got hit off the puck by Matheson. And now it rolls back into Anaheim ice. And Zellweger resets. So at center. Seneca, as he enters the Montreal zone far wing. Puts on the brakes against Matheson. Backhanded out to center as nobody was at the right point. Not sure if he was expecting John Carlson there. But out to center it goes. Rolled to Dostal, who snapped it back to center. But Slavkovsky will wrist it right back in. So behind the Duck goal in the far quarter to our right. Trouba goes this way to Zellweger. as now Zellweger goes between the benches, and it'll be poked in by Terry to the Montreal zone. In the near corner, Hudson will play it up the boards. It'll be grabbed by Newhook in the final 85. Up through center, Kapanen tipped it over the duck line, had his stick lifted, but Gooley there to help him out, fights to the far corner. Wrapped around the goal by Demidov to the near point, Hudson. He chipped it back to Demidov, who waits on the near side, circles up high, along the blue line, into the slot. Demidov shooting, and he got the glass as he was looking to go showtime. Got his own rebound. Demidov, up high, here's Hudson. Hudson, a little bob and weave on Terry, walks the blue line, in between the circles, centered pinball to Trouba, and he moved it up, and now here's Kreider. He might get a breakaway, but Terry didn't want to pass it. Don't know what he was looking at, but he enters the Montreal zone regardless. Pass now intended for Kreider, far wall, just didn't connect with him. Now they had to change, as I think that was just bad puck management by the Ducks. And now it looks like Montreal has not iced it. Nobody touched it, but their linesman ruled no icing. Now the Ducks scrambling in their own end, but unable to do anything with it was Evans, as it came off Minchikov's skate to center. Rolling back into Montreal ice is that biscuit in the near corner. Gauthier trying to center it. It got picked off by Dobson. And in the final 23, he played it off the far left wing boards to center. Texier tried to give it to Evans over the duck line. Instead, it's grabbed by John Carlson, who looks at the scoreboard and sees 15 remains in the period. Puck in the far corner. Down to our left, Matheson touched it ahead. Here's Evans with speed over the duck line, trying to fight off Paling. Dropped it. Matheson tried to center it, and he fanned on the pass. Meanwhile, Dobson, with 2 seconds left, got it down low, and now Texier had an open net, but it... Okay, here, I didn't give a goal call. The referee pointed a goal. I think time expired as zeros were on the clock when Texier scored this goal. Now they're waving it off, which I think is the right call, as period 2 should have came to a close. So we are going to just check the clock real quick, as time did hit 0 when Texier took this shot, as he had to kick it to his stick, which ultimately might have cost him those few extra tenths of a second. As this shot comes through, and yeah, time had expired, as it was about a second already at zeros when that shot came across the goal line. So right call by the officials. I guess he had to call it a goal on the ice as he saw it, as it would have been a good goal with time on the clock, but time did hit zeros, and we have reached the second intermission here, tied at 3. Between the Montreal Canadiens and the Anaheim Ducks. We had 5 goals in this second period, 3 by the Canadiens, 2 by the Ducks, as it all started with Leo Carlsson getting his second of the game, 23rd of the year from Lacombe and Terry, as it was 2-0 Anaheim 27 seconds in, and then Newhook and Caulfield connected a minute apart for Montreal. Newhook's 9th of the year set up by Lane Hudson, then Caulfield is 39th of the year from Dobson and Suzuki. And speaking of Nick Suzuki, he then got the go-ahead goal at the time for Montreal, his 23rd of the year from Slavkovsky and Anderson. Then Troy Terry with the equalizer from Kreider and Carlson to tie this game at 3. Here in period number 2. So Troy Terry, heck of a game here in his return. He's got two assists and a goal. Leo Carlsson with 2 goals and an assist. Chris Kreider with 2 assists in this game as well. Meanwhile, for the Montreal Canadiens, Cole Caulfield with the goal, Suzuki with 2 points, and nobody else with multi-point efforts yet for Montreal in this one. Shots 21-18 through the second period. In that period, it was 12-9 in favor of Montreal. They're out-hitting. Or I should say Anaheim's out-hitting Montreal in this game, 14-11. The Blacks are 12-9 in favor of the Habs. I'll be back for the third period, as it'll be here a lot closer than you think. It's 14 minutes away here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page, as it's a 3-3 tie between the Ducks and the Canadiens, live with yours truly, Jaric Rubel, right here on YouTube. I'm back, and clearly so are all of you as the listener count dramatically spikes up as we start the third period here in Montreal, all even at 3 goals apiece. My name is Jaric Rubel, so you can see on the top of your screen up here. Welcome back to the broadcast, live on the Ultimate Sports Media Watchalong page. Got thunderstorms behind me. I'm sick, but we got one good hockey game on the ice here. 3-3 your score, as it was 5 goals in the second period scored in that frame, as it was Montreal striking 3 times to go up 3-2. Alex Newhook, Cole Caulfield, and Nick Suzuki all found the back of the net. Caulfield now 1 goal shy of 40 on the year. Leo Carlsson got his second of the game for the Ducks 27 seconds into the period. It was his 23rd of the campaign. Then Troy Terry with his 14th of the year in the final 90 seconds of the period from Kreider and Leo Carlsson. So Terry and Leo Carlsson each with 3 points through 2 periods in this game, as the Ducks try to get 2 points and get back on top in the Pacific Division. The Habs try to get 2 points and tie things up with Tampa Bay for second in the Atlantic Division. As if you can believe it, Tampa Bay is only 5 points into the playoffs at this point. It's not like a sure thing they're going to make it, and they're kind of sliding right now, and it kind of sounds crazy to say, but I think everybody's kind of got to be careful, because there's teams like Columbus, there's teams like Ottawa that are lurking in the shadows, and of course teams like Detroit got to pull it together. Boston, I think's on the right track. They haven't quite fell off the rails like I thought they might have. They'll come up here to Montreal on Tuesday, as I think the Bruins, I don't want to say they're overachieving. There's been a good culture in that team and in that locker room for a long time, but I'm very surprised that they've stayed in this race for this long. I thought that team would definitely be a little worse than they are, but credit to them. They've pulled together without, Krejci and Bergeron being gone, and they kind of fell apart last year. And after the trade deadline, many thought the Bruins were an afterthought heading into this year, and they've proved everyone wrong, as they've tend to do when their expectations are low. They ended up setting the record for the most points in the National Hockey League ever in 2022-23, when everybody thought they'd take a step back, maybe be a wild card, or even miss the playoffs, and they ended up having the most points ever in a regular season. So we're set to begin the third frame now, as a face-off at center is going to be won by the Ducks, and Paling controls as we are underway in the third and final period from Montreal. The Habs attacking right to left in this third period, and the Ducks going left to right as we determine a winner in regulation or perhaps overtime here tonight. So down to our right, the Habs are able to move a puck out to center thanks to Xhekaj. It'll be controlled by Evans. He's over the Duck line with a shot from the far right wing circle, swallowed up by Dostal, as he'll take a whistle with 30 seconds gone by here in this third period. So I talked about goal differential being bad for the Montreal Canadiens and Anaheim Ducks in the second period. Well, it's good for Montreal here in the third. They're plus 11 in the third period. And for a team like Anaheim, who has 8 third period comeback wins, they're still getting outscored by 6, or I should say 7, in the third period, 81-74. So face off to Dostal's left. It'll be Suzuki for the Habs against Seneca, as he's able to win it clean, or against Wash, I should say, for the Ducks, as the Habs play it into the near right corner of the Anaheim zone. Trying to dig it out is Caulfield against Trouba, but Trouba able to outmuscle him there. Big size difference as he got the puck along to the far wing. Trying to get it out for Anaheim was Lacombe. He's having trouble with it, but now Seneca is able to get it out. And I was right. That was Beckett Seneca. So get this. He took the face-off left-handed. I just wasn't paying attention to that detail, as I thought it was Wash, the left-handed guy who wears 43, not the right-hander who wears 45. So Seneca, the rookie, getting crafty out there at the face-off dot. He has the puck now up high between the circles in the Habs zone. Played one behind in the trapezoid. Lacombe down low, got caught down there in the second period. Not going to get caught this time, as he left it in the far corner for Gronlund, as Killorn slipped on fresh ice. Is that one? I don't think they're calling a trip. Dobson went palms up. I hope they're not. They're not, as the Habs take possession here, as that would have been a bad call if they did. Up through center, Slavkovsky, near side over the line, Suzuki, he's free, he's in, and a backhand save made by Dostal, as the captain, looking for a second of the game for Montreal, came close, tried to go 5-hole, but Dostal's able to stay with it, and now Anaheim has iced the puck. So with 18-18, we get a whistle. So look at the replay here. Slavkovsky from the logo played it right in on the near left wing for Suzuki. He got the angle on Trouba to get in around him, and he tried to backhand it 5-hole on Dostal, who was moving to his right and stayed with it. So face off to Dostal's right now, as it'll be Newhook in there for Montreal and Gronlund for the Ducks. Off the draw, it's one clean by Newhook to the back between the circles. Hudson a shot, blocked by Gronlund between the circles, kept though by Newhook. Played to the far point, squeezing by is Gooley. Now lost as it's stripped of it by the Ducks, and now turned over here on the near circles. Hudson toe dragged his way through, but couldn't keep possession. Now lifted the stick of Gronlund, got it back. Now turned it over to Trouba on the pass to Demidov, and Trouba sends Seneca up ahead through center into the Montreal zone. He splits the D. He takes a shot and a save by Fowler. Seneca just got through a wall of 4 Canadiens playing the 1-4 trap, probably unintentionally, but still a very impressive play by the Duck rookie. But a good save by Fowler in goal for Montreal. So the Ducks on the reset with the top line on the ice, 2.5 played in this third period, as Leo Carlsson draws a penalty here, and now Matheson, who took the puck over, has the whistle blown, as now it'll be a power play coming up here for the Anaheim Ducks, I believe, as it'll be their first power play of the game. So we'll see who the guilty party is. It looks like it's going to be Phil Deneau for the Canadiens, and now Anaheim has the opportunity to take the lead here in period number 3 as they go to the power play for the first time tonight. Overall in the NHL, they're 24th in the league with the man advantage, 29th though on the road at only 15%. Meanwhile, shorthanded, the Montreal Canadiens, 26th overall on the PK, but 8th at home as they're 81.7% here in this building. So again, all power plays powered by YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. And once you subscribe, you can comment in the chat. I'd be happy to talk with a lot of y'all. Make commercial breaks a lot less boring. We could talk and chat instead of just playing some lo-fi audio. So if you're free to do that, I'd appreciate it. The Ducks control off the face-off as Montreal won it, but couldn't clear. And Carlson at the right point goes to the near circle for Leo Carlsson. To the corner, Kreider. Back to Leo. At the right point, goes to John Carlson. Far point. To the far corner, now here's Seneca. Back up high. Here is John Carlson to the near circle for Leo Carlsson. Down low now again, it's Kreider. Kreider looking over his option. Heads to Leo between the circles. Back to Kreider. Down low in the corner. Down to our right. Back to Leo Carlsson. Across for Jacob Trouba now, who skates to the right. Or I should say Terry, I apologize. As now John Carlson controls again. John Carlson, right circle, slap shot, and it went off of Fowler's left pad. Rebound to the near corner, gathered by Terry at the circle. He spins and looks, goes down low to Kreider, centered Leo Carlson, went off a skate of Carrier, back to Terry, a shot, hit the post, short side on Fowler, came back to him. Now to the near corner, Kreider. A minute left on the power play for Anaheim. They've been in the zone this whole time. Terry in the slot, got turned around by Evans, but stayed with it. Carlson played it down low to Kreider, near circle, looking in front for Trouba, couldn't connect with the tip. John Carlson racing far point, couldn't keep it in as Suzuki has a takeaway. Played it ahead far wall, Kapanen says, I'm tired, and just knocks it deep and heads to change. And now Dostal waits in the final 40 of the Anaheim power play, as fresh on the ice is Kookie. Jackson Lacombe played it at his own blue line. It'll be grabbed by Seneca. Over the red line he goes, far wall, left wing, it's Gronlund. Gronlund tried to drop it off for Killorn. He got squeezed out of the play by Dobson, but in that far corner, the Habs do end up with it, as Anderson will send it down the ice and clear. So down to the final 16 on the Anaheim power plays. The Habs fans start to applaud here in the Bell Center as Lacombe with it in the final 10 for Anaheim. Turned it over at the red line. Here's Anderson up the near side. Had it poked away by Seneca. Good back check there by the rookie. And now we are back to even strength, as the power play has expired for Anaheim, as now they're offsides as well entering the Montreal zone. So with 15:26 to go, we're back to even strength, and a neutral zone faceoff is imminent. Now Seneca here, is he being guided to the penalty box perhaps, as it looked like he was being guided somewhere, and I think he might have been called for a trip here on Josh Anderson. And it might have been the trailing official who called it. The referee in the picture didn't. Oh, and Anderson retaliated. And that might have been where it's not where it came from. Seneca did get called for a trip. And now the graphic was wrong, so they both got called. You gotta bear with me here. I'm trusting the TV crews. Seneca is gonna sit for Anaheim for a trip, and then Anderson retaliated for Montreal. He's also gonna go, and it'll be 4-on-4 here for 2 minutes. Bear with me as I gotta cough real quick. Oh, awful. Just awful. Anyways, back to neutral ice we go. 4-on-4 for 2 minutes with 15:26 to go in the third period. In front of the Montreal bench, Paling's able to beat Suzuki clean on the draw. As Paling, an ex-Canadian, he played here in Montreal from 2018 to 2022. He now and his Ducks head through neutral ice. Here's Lacombe over the red and the blue near right wing boards into the Habs zone. Played it on goal. Right pad save Fowler. Wasn't sure he had it. Went up to the far point and out as Lacombe will reset with John Carlson now. 20 seconds gone by of 4-on-4 time. As this season, the Ducks have scored 3 goals at 4-on-4, gave up none. The Habs have given up 3 at 4-on-4 and have scored 2. Paling in on the far left wing boards. Around the Habs goal, he sends the puck. It comes all the way down the ice back into Anaheim territory. So it'll be left in the trapezoid for Trouba. The ex-captain of the New York Rangers, brought over in a trade here last season as the Rangers started to make some moves and still are, is on the near right wing boards. Here's Groundlin into the Habs zone. Now the Ducks are going to try and get set up, but Trouba mishandled it at the point, and now Montreal's free to neutral. At the logo, Evans fed Demidov straight away into the Anaheim zone. Near circle, a pass for Evans thrown on net. Save made Dostal. Rebound to his right, cleaned up and taken around the goal by Leo Carlson, who skates to center. Over the red line he goes. Fed it far wall for Minchikov, the defenseman down low in the far corner of the Habs zone. Played it up between the circles. John Carlson this way. Groundlin's one-timer missed by a mile on the far wing and rolls all the way back down the ice. So the Ducks reset here in the final 30 of 4-on-4. Montreal's barely touched the puck here. If this 4-on-4 play is on the near wing comes Terry. He has 3 points tonight. Crisscrosses into the Habs zone. Far wing with a shot off the tip of the glove of Fowler. Skating left and shooting right was Terry, and it just went off the tip of the glove to the near post of Fowler. Habs do have possession now through center with 4-on-4 expiring, as there's now 10 seconds left on it, as they're going to recoil in their own zone and just wait for that time to expire. So we're back to 5 skaters aside now, as through center comes Lane Hudson with the puck. He carries left wing into the Ducks zone. Centered in the slot, a trigger pull by Slavkovsky, blocked by Lacombe. That stung him, or that might have been more, I beg your pardon. Through center though comes Seneca, going to the far wing, played it in the slot. It bounced to Harkins, a shot and a save by Fowler. Rebound between the circles, came up to Texier. He's able to muscle it out to center, and Moore now resets at the red line. Played it softly ahead into the zone's Harkins. Over the Montreal line, he skates to the left wing boards, falling and taking a shot that got blocked to the near side, but it's free for a shot by Wash. Save made by Fowler on the doorstep. No rebound was given as Harkins was lurking. He's had one heck of a shift, and now he's face washing Lane Hudson, and rightfully so. Caden Gooley steps into his defense, as does Texier, as now they all get tangled together here. And the referees have been very courteous in these scrums that they haven't called penalties, so I don't expect any to come from that skirmish, as we'll head to break here. 7 minutes played in period number 3, tied at 3 between the Habs and the Ducks. back in Montreal, where it's still tied up at 3 goals apiece between the Montreal Canadiens and the Anaheim Ducks. Jaric Rubel with you here from Montreal. 12:50 to go in period number 3, as it's been fun between both of these two squads looking to make the playoffs here. Young and exciting franchises. Montreal made it last season as they were able to snap a 4-season playoff drought. And then meanwhile, the Anaheim Ducks looking to get into the dance for the first time since 2018, when they were swept out by the San Jose Sharks. A series in which 2 games, if you remember, were broadcasted on the Golf Channel. You heard me right. The Golf Channel. Face off to the left of Fowler. Wiped out the linesman. The Habs will control, though, as Slavkovsky will get out to center for Montreal and send it around to the Anaheim goal. As every time I want to say Anaheim, the HA comes out for Habs, and it's driving me up a wall. But that's just a minute issue at the moment, as Dostal takes a whistle here at 12:39 to go in the third period. And an ozone draw coming up here for the Canadiens, in which has their top line on the ice. So Slavkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield all huddle prior to this draw. So they're discussing a quick thing off the face-off, as Suzuki now will step in, as he'll be opposed by a wash for the Anaheim Ducks. So face-off to Dostal's left, won by wash, and it's going to be sent down the ice as far as the red line. And now Montreal takes back over. Caulfield will just play it back in his own zone. Matheson takes over. Far wall Dobson now. Played it up for Slavkovsky. Got it over the Anaheim line. That's as far as he'll get it, as the Ducks take back over, as Trouba goes in between the benches, and it'll be snapped in by Wash now. Into the near corner of the Habs zone it goes. Matheson's on it. Looks like he wants to scoot. Ends up going cross ice, and it'll be in possession of Lacombe, but he'll turn it over to Suzuki on the far wall. Got plastered up against the glass. Tried to stay with it, but lost it, and Harkins got it as far as center, and Wash will send it deep. So now the Ducks will change, as will the Habs. 8 minutes played in this third period. Now here comes Montreal yet again. Gouli tried to snap one in. This will be icing, as he shot it beyond the red line. So the whistle's going to go with 11:50 here in period number 3. Again, thank you to everybody who stopped by in the stream. I explained it a little bit throughout the course of each game, but this Ultimate Sports Media channel is newer after we ended up having to lose our previous 2 channels throughout the course of this NHL regular season, and other sports, of course, as well. And now we're here under a new name. So Matthew Owens, myself, Seth Eves, and Josh Taylor, we all appreciate your support to the channel if you like what you are hearing. So down to our right, behind the Montreal cage, the Ducks top line goes to work. Terry played it on top of the paint. Leo Carlson tried to get it for the hat trick, but couldn't grab the puck, as he overskated it. And now at the logo, it's flipped out and grabbed by Deneau. He's trying to split the D, but good work by Zellweger and Carlson to knock him off the puck. And it's sent back to Montreal ice by Anaheim. And straight away, Gouli will send it up the left wing boards over the Habs line, or over the Anaheim line. As I keep doing it, it's going to be Anderson. Played it around the goal. Back it comes down low, though. Gallagher takes it. Wraparound try. Dostal punched it with the blocker. It looks like it's kind of coming loose. He's going to put a paw on the puck now, as it looks like his blocker, he's going to take it off now. It looks like there's a little bit of an equipment issue, but a whistle with 11:08 to go in this third period, and a face-off coming up to the right of Dostal. So coming up this week on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page, hockey watch-alongs, college basketball watch-alongs. You get a little bit of each every day of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll get a dose of the first 4, and on Thursday, the first round of the NCAA tournament. And you'll have Bruins, Canadiens, Senators, and Capitals, and Kraken Predators, all with me, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. Face off to Dostal's right, won by the Canadiens, as Newhook got it to Hudson. Up it goes as Demidov's one-timer got blocked. Now a shot by Kapanen got blocked as well from the far right circle, as now Anaheim got it as far as the red line. Hudson takes back over. Across it goes to Carrier, played it over the logo. Demidov's into the Anaheim zone, toe dragged in the slot, centered it, and a shot by Kapanen, fought off with the shoulder by Dostal. Rebound goes up and out to center, as the right shoulder by Dostal comes up big there to keep it a 3-3 tie. 10:37 remain in period 3, as back through center comes Montreal. Straight away, a pass by Hudson for Newhook's in, and a shot, and again a right shoulder save by Dostal. This time it goes out of play, and now a little bit extra between Vetrano and Newhook after the whistle as everybody's getting a face washer. That's Killorn, I apologize. The 17 almost looks like a 77 based on the font on the Ducks jersey. As Demidov here did a good job to set up Oliver Kapanen at the far circle, and Dostal fought that off with the shoulder. And then he ends up facing another try here just moments later that he had to fight off this. Well, they're going to keep showing the same replay here. Okay, the Kapanen shot's fine, right? But you want to get the follow-up here just a moment ago, and we're not going to get the replay. So unfortunate news there, as I thought the second save was the better of the two. We'll see where this face-off ends up being. Shame on the Anaheim broadcast. Victory Sports, come on. Got to show both saves, not just one save. We'll see where this face-off gets placed. It's to the right of Fowler, as the Ducks are going to end up winning it. Seneca's shot goes off a leg of Matheson. It's going to be kept in, though, by Lacombe. He skates into the near right wing circle, driving to the paint with a shot and a save by Fowler. Rebound, it's on top of the paint, going to be grabbed by Dobson. He fell over. Oh, no, the referee called a penalty and his head wasn't looking. He wasn't looking and it wasn't a trip whatsoever. But here comes Montreal up the near right wing side, as now the Ducks are going to touch up. As the whistle goes, I need a replay of this because I think Montreal just fell on their own. As Killorn gave a high stick up high to Evans. Maybe that was the call, but that's not what I'm looking at. And okay, Gronlund touches the left knee of Dobson, and I guess that's how he falls. And they're going to call him a trip. I mean, he kind of made contact with the left knee. I think it was kind of a soft call. And Q doesn't like it. Q hates it, actually. He's yelling on the Duck bench. His face isn't beet red yet, so he's not fuming. But his Ducks are going to have to kill off a penalty here, as Q does not like this call at all, and I think he has an absolute good case against the referees. And now Marty St. Louis laughing on the Hab bench, as he, I'm sure, just like everyone else, loves a good Q rage. As, yeah, the all-French officiating staff here in Montreal calls a weak penalty, and I never want to say there's bias involved, but I think there is some sort of ironic coincidence that this happened, and I did think about it before the game, too, that I might have to mention this with the all-French officiating staff, and sure enough, we have a goofy penalty that sends the Habs to the power play. They win the draw into the back. It is Lane Hudson to the far circle. Demidov looking. Back up top between the circles, it's Hudson to Demidov. Demidov with a shot blocked by Minchikov to the far corner. It'll be whacked behind by Slafkovsky. Came back to him in the far corner. He's knocked out of the way. And Poehling controls and sends it down the ice for Anaheim. So Montreal gets back with 20 seconds gone by on this power play. Get all power plays powered by this YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and like the stream, as me, Matt, Seth, and JT all appreciate the support. So on the near wing, back into the Duck zone, Slafkovsky puts it behind the goal. Around to the far corner, it's met by Suzuki. Touch to Caulfield, who bunted it back around to the near side. Up the wall it goes, Slafkovsky will wrist it back. It bounced in front off the end boards, and now it's cleared by the Ducks alertly, as that was a funny bounce off a stanchion in behind that almost cost the Anaheim Ducks. But fortunately for them, they were able to get the clear. A minute left on the Montreal power play. Is on the push and back entry at the red line. Suzuki touched it for Demidov, fed it far wall over the Duck line. Caulfield sent it to the corner, sat back out by Anaheim. And now Montreal chases back yet again. 50 seconds remain on the man advantage. 8:55 now in the third period as well, as at the red line, Dobson leaves it for Newhook. Across the logo he goes, left it Kapanen. Over the Duck line, near side it's Texier now up high. Played it down low for Kapanen in the corner. Return pass now off a stick, but came to Texier nonetheless. Now on the far wall, trying to keep it in Gallagher, he does. Backhanded it to the far corner down to our left. Kapanen grabs it. Back to Gallagher, bunted it to Dobson. This way at the circle, Texier's shot went through the blue paint to the far wall, then all the way down the ice, as Dobson has to get back on it in the final baker's dozen of the power play. Right back up the near wall it goes. Over the Duck line is Texier. Tried to drop it off. It's intercepted by Anaheim, but unable to clear is Trouba. Now a second effort by Killorn gets out of the zone, and that'll do it for the power play for Montreal. 0 for 4 on the night are the Canadiens, as now the Anaheim back the other way. Trouba poke checked over the Montreal line. The defenseman's caught. Now back on the near side comes Evans. Evans into the slot, driving, shooting, hit the post. Almost would have been the second time in this game the Ducks defenseman got caught trying to make offense happen, but Evans blew it by the blocker side of Dostal. Just hit iron. He has the puck again down low in the near corner. He's ran out of the play by Wash. Gets it back, though, as Deneau played it right back to him. Now it's up to the point. Left side, it's Carrier. Back to Evans along the near left side wall. Button hooking at the left wing circle. Up top, Carrier out of the zone. It might have went, didn't. Matheson one-timer saved Dostal loose in front, and it's cleared out by Trouba, kept in by a leaping Matheson. Now Kreider tried to soccer it out Will as he tied up the stick of Matheson. Ducks try to change on the fly. Habs back in near side. And here's Anderson trying to drop it, but blowing a tire on the near side was a Montreal skater. And now Leo Carlsson through center for the Ducks. Over the Montreal line, got a return pass, far circle. Trying to work away from Deneau, but got poke checked. And now the puck out to center on the near wing as Lacombe will reset as the Ducks change. Tried to feed it into Gronlund, missed the pass, but it's into the far corner nonetheless. Down to our right, Killorn on that loose puck. Played it for Gronlund, who sends it around the goal near corner. Here's Seneca shielding on Caulfield, trying to protect. Now as the second Hab comes in, it's Matheson and takes the puck away. Gronlund trying to get it back as well. Down to our right does. Got it up top to Moore. Slid far point for Lacombe. His shot goes off the stick of Suzuki. Suzuki will play it up ahead. And for the reach of Caulfield, though, it got poked away. And Anaheim gets possession back. Down to the final 6.5 in this third period. Tied up at 3 in the Bell Center, celebrating 30 years of this building this evening. It's been a good one between the Ducks and the Habs. Glad you've been with me throughout the broadcast. My name is Jaric Rubel, and I'll be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on this channel, bringing you more NHL hockey. On the near side, over the Duck line, Gooley down low in the corner, had a pass get sent behind him by Kapanen. Now the Ducks up the near right wing as it's Viel. Jeffrey Viel tipped it to the near corner of the Montreal zone. Going to be grabbed by Gauthier. Didn't grab it fully, though, as Gooley stripped it back. And now it's flipped over the Anaheim blue line. Zellweger rekindles and now played it back over the Montreal blue, but Newhook will take it back for the Habs. Across the red line he goes, touched it for Texier. It's chipped back behind the Anaheim net, and it'll be grabbed by Minchikov. Bad pass, though, on the near side for Carlson. Almost a turnover as Minchikov's able to regather. On the far wall, another bad pass for Gronlund has the Ducks in scramble mode as now John Carlson played it up the far wing over the line. It's Killorn into the Habs zone with a shot. Awkward save. Fowler punched it and took out Harkins in the process. No penalty, though, as that easily could have been called a trip on the Habs goalie, but we play on. As up the near wing through centers, Evans over the Duck line. Looks over the traffic from the boards. Chipped it back to the point. Here's Matheson. Lost it, and now it's out the center, and a foot race is on. Leo Carlson's going to get there from the far wall. He bobbled it, dropped it off, and a shot save with the glove made by Fowler on the shot by Kreider, or Harkins, I should say, as that is a game-saving stop by Jacob Fowler for the Habitants. So it stays 3-3 here in the Bell Center as the Ducks had a quality chance as Leo Carlsson looking for his 4th point of the game. Almost got it, but a great glove by Jacob Fowler keeps it deadlocked. Jaric Rubel back with you here live on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. Watch along here between the Anaheim Ducks and the Montreal Canadiens, tied at 3 goals apiece in this one so far. Leo Carlsson with 2 goals and an assist for the Anaheim Ducks, Troy Terry with a goal and 2 assists as well. Meanwhile, Newhook, Caulfield, and Suzuki with goals for the Habs. Caulfield's 39th of the year, assisted by Suzuki, as Suzuki is the only Canadian skater in this game with a multi-point effort thus far. So a good try before the break from Leo Carlsson, setting up Janssen Harkins on top of the blue paint. But a good glove save by Fowler kept it tied. And now the Habs win a draw to his right via the top lines, and Suzuki is able to get it into Anaheim ice. It'll be punched back up the near wing, though, by Trouba, and it will get the center as Kreider will gather, and he chipped it off the near side glass over the Montreal line. Into the corner it goes. Carrier ran into by Kreider there as they're tangled up in behind. Kreider gave him another shove while Carrier held his stick. Meanwhile, up on the left side, here's Slavkovsky over the Anaheim line. Lost it as Suzuki's pass was behind him. As now Terry fed it far wall. Carlson's in looking for the hat trick. A shot at another glove save by Fowler. Oh, he's been great in this third period as Leo Carlsson back-to-back shifts racing up the far wing. This time he took the shot, and Fowler with the glove save. So it was a good takeaway by Trouba, who forced the turnover on Slavkovsky. The pass wasn't exactly behind him from Suzuki. And then up on the far wing, Terry sent it for Carlsson, and he almost got the go-ahead goal for the hat trick. But a great glove save made by the young Jacob Fowler. So just a 12th NHL game for Fowler again, as he's been terrific so far for the Montreal Canadiens. He's got a record of 5-4-2 in his career. He's got 1 shutout. Obviously won't get a shutout here in this game, but he has been impressive through 12 career games. Face off to his right, Deneau against Gronlund, as Gronlund loses that draw off a tie-up, and the Habs shoot it out of play. Believe it was deflected. It was, and the face-off's going to stay in the Montreal defensive zone with 4:15 remaining in regulation time. These Anaheim Ducks, they're no stranger to games going past overtime, as they have played 26 games past regulation time. The Montreal Canadiens as well have played 28. So these two teams probably destined for an overtime just based off of the just crazy amounts of 3-on-3 they've already played this season. The Habs able to win that D-zone draw as Deneau in the 4th line punch it into Anaheim ice, as meanwhile on the near side, John Carlson in his Ducks debut leads it ahead to center. On the far wall, Carlson is staying onside as Gronlund. Puck played in behind the Montreal goal. Going to be grabbed by Gallagher. Got poke checked behind by Killorn, and he got a takeaway. Dobson trying to get it right back. Cannot as Gronlund trying to get through, as now it's poked in behind, but it's punched back up nicely by the Habs, and now Gallagher through center tried to feed it into the Anaheim zone, got cut off by Gronlund, but on a second effort got it in, and now we're under 3.5 remaining in the third period. 3-3 your score. Jaric Rubel with you on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page for this watch along between the Ducks and Canadiens. And Tuesday night, we'll stay right here in the Bell Center as the Habs welcome the Boston Bruins to town. Looking forward to that Original Six Atlantic Division matchup. It's the oldest running rivalry in the National Hockey League. Down to our right in the near corner, the Habs trying to get out of their own zone. Kapanen can't get out. In the near side, here is Poehling. Poehling, the ex-Canadian, centered for VL on top of the paint, and it got punched high and wide. And now Demidov put it off the far wall and into Anaheim ice. Redfoot chiming in the chat saying he wants a Demidov OT winner here for the Canadiens. See if perhaps he could get it. Maybe he'll get it in regulation. Doesn't need to be in overtime. But meanwhile, the Ducks in the offensive zone down to our right in Montreal ice. Gooley there got knocked out of the way by VL, who gets that puck, centered it on top. Gauthier shot, he scores! Cutter Gauthier gives the Ducks the lead. They're up 4-3 late in the third. So the 34th goal of the year for Cutter Gauthier as he continues his team lead. And Jeffrey VL did a great job to Jacob Fowler's left as he just out-muscled Caden Gooley to get that puck and was able to center it for Cutter Gauthier, who got to the right spot as Hudson joined the fray as well. And he alertly got behind him right on top of the paint and was able to beat goaltender Jacob Fowler with a quick snapshot that went right through the 5-hole. So the Ducks, with 2:30 remaining, are up 4-3 here in a regulation, looking to reclaim the top spot in the Pacific Division as right away a puck goes out of play. As we'll redo this face-off essentially, it'll just happen in front of the Duck bench this time. As now the Habs are going to have to find a way to tie this game. It won't shock me if they do, as the Anaheim Ducks here, up 4-3, will step aside one last time. So I thought we were done with commercials for this game, but I guess we got one more left. So I'll step aside with 2:26 to go, cough my heart out real quick, and be back for the finish. Back here in Montreal with under 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. The Habs up 3-2 at one point in this game, now down 4-3, as the Anaheim Ducks are looking to cap off their 21st comeback victory. And we'll see if they can hang on here in regulation or if the Habs will force overtime in this contest. Face off in front of the Duck bench with 2:26 to go in period number 3. As it'll be Suzuki out there for this draw against Poehling, and Poehling wins it for Anaheim. On the near wing, John Carlson played it through center. Harkins tried to tip it in, could not. Now Caulfield grabs it for Montreal, and into the Anaheim zone it's sent. 2:12 left in regulation. Keep an eye on Fowler down to our right. See when the Habs want to get the extra attacker on. As Hudson ran into Poehling, can't keep a puck in the zone. As the Ducks now on the near right side are out through center. Wash into the slot, played a shot towards the net, deflected in behind, pinball to the near circle, and it'll be collected by Suzuki with under 2 minutes now to go in regulation time. He sends it into the near corner, down to our left in Anaheim ice. Behind the goal in the trapezoid is Lacombe. The Habs have pulled the goalie, and the slot out of takeaway is a shot by Hudson that missed to the glove side of Dostal, and the Ducks will clear after it came off the end boards. Under 100 seconds to go now in a regulation time. 6 attackers for the Canadiens with the empty net this year. They have scored 7 times. They've given up 10 empty net goals. We'll see what happens here as the Ducks force a takeaway at the blue line. It's played up ahead on the near wing. Leo Carlson looking for a hat trick into the goal line. Played it off the side of the net. Now Hudson from his knees put it up the near boards. Kreider will play it right back behind. Hudson tried to play it. Carlson wants to take it away. Dobson got it. Lost it. Now here's Kreider off the post. Came to the far wall. Poked up and not out. Minchikov with the empty net. Played it into the skates of Dobson. He fights to the far corner now. Free to Carlson for the hat trick, and he put it off the post too, as back-to-back posts here for the Ducks keep it a 1-goal game, and the Habs with 50 seconds to go race through center. Demidov, far wall, Suzuki punches it in like a pool cue. In behind the Anaheim goal it goes. Suzuki fighting from the far corner, got it up, and it's out to center as the Ducks can't keep, or as the Habs can't keep it in. And now 35 seconds remain. Slavkovsky through center on the reset, left wing boards, glides into the Anaheim zone. Puck was in front of him. Lacombe poked it away. Anaheim can't clear. Near side Suzuki. Centered it Hudson. Back to Suzuki at the circle. 20 to go. In the slot. Dobson. Suzuki. One-timer save. Rebound. Slavkovsky trying to punch it in. Dostal's going to cover. No, he's not. It's free. It's loose on top of the paint. And now it's going to come to Dostal. And he'll cover with 11.3 to go. As Juraj Slavkovsky on top of the blue paint had an opportunity to jab it through the 5-hole of Dostal. but he was able to hold his ground in the blue paint for the Ducks, and it squirted back out in front and eventually worked its way back on him onto his pads, and he was able to find it with his glove and cover. And 11 seconds remain in regulation time. So the Montreal Canadiens are, obviously I would think going to use their timeout here, and they'll draw something up on the whiteboard before this faceoff coming up to the right of Lukas Dostal. So if Anaheim wins this game, they claw back into first place in the Pacific Division. Meanwhile, if Montreal is able to get this equalizer, they'll get within 1 point of Tampa Bay. If they win it, they'll tie Tampa Bay in the standings. If not, they'll stay idle in third place in the Atlantic. So after this timeout expires, this faceoff will occur to the right of Dostal with 11.3 to go here in the Bell Center. And I'll be right here in the Bell Center again on Tuesday as the Habs will welcome the Boston Bruins to town as we go Original Six here on the Ultimate Sports Media Watchalong YouTube page. So we're set for action here to close out regulation time. The Habs are going to desperately need a face-off win here and try and get something quickly on net. Deneau's going to take this draw against Wash to the right of Dostal. Jesse Marquis sets and gets ready to drop the puck. And it's one clean by Deneau. Hudson bobbles it at the left point and can't keep it in. And Lane Hudson can't hold it in. And that will cause an offsides now on a re-entry with 4 seconds to go. And that just cost the Montreal Canadiens any opportunity they had at getting at least a point in this game. So they obviously still have 4 seconds left on the clock. Something crazy would have to happen through neutral ice for them to get the equalizer. And the Ducks should walk out of here with 2 points in the standings. So face off at the logo at center. Deneau will go up against Wash yet again. And we'll see what happens. It's won by the Ducks, and that'll do it. They're back in first place in the Pacific Division as they now have overtaken the Golden Knights for the top spot by just a point. So a great game here out of the Anaheim Ducks to close out a road trip as they went up 2-0. They did fall behind 3-2, but another comeback win. Their 21st come from behind win on the year as they score 2 more unanswered to beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3 here in the Bell Center in John Carlson's debut. Speaking of Carlson's, Leo Carlsson had 3 points in this game as he got the first 2 goals for the Ducks, his 22nd and 23rd of the year. Terry with assists on each of them, Kreider and Lacombe getting in on the other ones. And then it was Troy Terry with his 14th of the year and his first game back in the lineup for the Ducks that tied it at 3, assisted by Kreider and Leo Carlsson. And then the eventual game winner, Cutter Gauthier, as he was set up by Jeffrey Viel. It was his 34th of the year. Ryan Poehling, the ex-Canadian, an assist on that as well, as that propelled the Ducks to a 4-3 win. The Montreal Canadiens goal scorers, Newhook from Lane Hudson. Then it was Caulfield from Dobson and Suzuki. Caulfield's 39th of the year. Then Nick Suzuki's 23rd from Slavkovsky and Josh Anderson. Shots on goal in this game, 28 for the Ducks, 30 for the Montreal Canadiens. The Habs 0 for 4 on the power play, 0 for their last 7 throughout the course of this weekend. The Ducks 0 for 1 on their lone try, and they out-hit the Montreal Canadiens 17-14. In this hockey game. So I'll stay here in Montreal for the next broadcast. They'll host the Boston Bruins on Tuesday as I look forward to bringing you all of that game right here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. You'll also have the Senators and the Capitals with me Wednesday, as well as the Kraken and Predators on Thursday. Tomorrow, nothing's going to happen on this YouTube channel, but of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's hockey and college basketball with yours truly, Jaric Rubel on hockey. And then it'll be Matthew Owens and Seth Eves bringing you the March Madness across the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments. So again, a 4-3 final here from Montreal as Anaheim gets one on the road here to close out an East Coast road trip before they head home Wednesday against Philadelphia. They're now up to 77 points in first place in the Pacific Division. The Montreal Canadiens stay idle in third and trail Tampa Bay for the second spot by just 2 points. They'll take on the Bruins Tuesday. The Ducks will take on the Flyers on Wednesday. And again, you guys know it at this point. I will see you on Tuesday as well for that Canadiens game against the Boston Bruins. Again, my name's Jaric Rubel. Thank you so much for spending this Sunday night edition of an NHL Watch Along with me. Got through a sickness. Gonna go take some medicine, gonna enjoy whatever's left of this thunderstorm, and watch a Texas death match at AEW Revolution. So thank you all so much for tuning into the broadcast. I'll talk to you Tuesday from this very building. Again, tonight the Ducks win it in Montreal over the Canadiens 4-3. The final Cutter Gauthier, the winning goal for the Ducks.